Transition! Welcome everyone to the very first match, actually, of the DAL's, I would usually say Titans League. This is Titans League, but we're running two leagues now, so just say DAL Season 3. This season, we have, of course, on the Titans League, the same teams as previously, but some have changed names, some have been acquired by orgs, which is going to be the case of one of our contestants tonight, Bûcherons, or to keep it in English, the Lumberjacks, which is the direct translation of their name. Lumberjacks against Impact Elite. And yeah, like I said, same teams, same players. Roster changes to be expected, of course, but Lumberjacks against Impact Elite. I will be your host, but I'm also accompanied by none other than Jewel Rogue. Jewel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well today. I hope you are as well. I'm very excited about the first match of the season that we are casting. I'm not sure if any other matches have gone on yet.
Nope, this is the very first match of the
Well,
season, except maybe for like the qualifiers, but I don't think we're going to count those in here today.
I wouldn't necessarily count those yet, but I'm very excited about these matches starting today, the very first match, and I cannot wait.
So with that being said, I am sending the map band links to the players as we speak. So the map band should start. The format, of course, has changed a little bit since last season. We're jumping off of the round robin format and we're using this two-stage GSL, but I should say two-stage plus a playoff at the end of that. But hey, no, I mean the playoff always is like an added stage onto whichever format you're using. Basically, within a group, it's always, or within a round, it's going to be a double elimination bracket, but within a single match, well, everything except for maybe like the grand final stays a best of three. All that to say, well, tonight's map ban is going to be of a best of three format, and that was to be expected. The players have received their map bans, and he has gotten the right one. Let's just tell them. Yeah, let's just tell them that like they do get the first ban, because sometimes, you know, some team will be expecting the other team to ban first, so then like both teams are waiting for each other, and you can be stuck in that kind of limbo for a long time, which we do not want to be happening tonight. So, hey, as we speak, map bans are coming in, so Coastline will be taken off the table. I mean, usually we could go off of like, their previous performance on Coastline or on Consulate in the case of Impact Elite was rather poor, so it figures this is why they don't want to be playing this map. But here, this is the beginning of the season, so I truly have nothing to say. So here, Jewel, why ban Coastline?
Honestly, for me, Coastline is not a good map. I thoroughly dislike Coastline. It's a very, in my opinion, defense-heavy map. So if you're not good on defense and you don't really have a good roam game presence, you're just going to get rid of it. It is the first match of the season, so maybe they're not comfortable with Coastline. Stick with what you know. Maybe they know Oregon, for example, better. And it looks like we are actually going to be going to Villa as the first pick. Maybe. And the second pick is going to be Oregon. I would say I'm not surprised to see Oregon. I feel like we see that almost every match.
Oregon and Clubhouse are two staples of a best of three. I mean, you know, Coastline, Consulate, Villa, Theme Park are played here and there, and at this point, I would say it is extremely likely that we go into Clubhouse, either Clubhouse or Café de Sayevski. Both of these are actually pretty typical maps, but you know what? Actually, I'm going to twist the question around, because when you have a best of three, you're playing just under half of the maps that are in the entire map pool, right? So the question more or less becomes which maps are less played. And like, I'm unironically asking you because I feel like maybe Consulate and Theme Park are the lesser played maps, but every other map, it feels like we're playing every other best of three, you know?
I agree with that. I will be very shocked if we see any Theme Park at all this season. They are best of three maps, so you eventually have to. You can't just stick to Clubhouse, Oregon, and Villa, or Cafe, or you can't just stick to those. Eventually, if you're feeling cocky, go to Theme Park. Maybe the other teams haven't quite practiced it as much as you have, and you want to get the upper hand as quickly as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could say this of every team. Let's just hope we have more practice on the every map. Sorry, let's just hope we have more practice on this one map than the other team and get those victories. But I mean, the fact that as you said, Coastline is defense sided. Yeah, that is pretty map specific. And we have our spawn sides in. It looks like we are going to be attacking. Lumberjacks will be attacking first on Villa. Impact Elite will then be attacking first on Oregon, and then Café Dostoyevsky. I know you guys can't see it on this overlay, but Café Dostoyevsky will see Impact Elite attack first. So with that being said, just checking my... Okay, so somebody just DMing me, thank you to our previous response. Whenever I get a message or a notification on either Discord or Guilded, which are our official platforms, I have to check it because it might always be somebody DMing me regarding the competition. By the way, there is going to be another match tonight, but not on this channel, or not casted at all, should I say, because it's going to be playing in parallel or at the same time as this match. So just beware, just so you may know. You can expect to see the match between Impact Academy and Surf Esports, I believe, or yeah, those are the teams that are playing at the same time as us, off air, off stream. So the results will be added to like the tally tomorrow magically without the match being publicly streamed. That's just the nature of it. And so right about now, we should be trying to invite the players, and I believe they are telling me what their Uplays are. Sinner. What a nice Uplay. Okay, I don't believe I have this guy as my friend, so let's just add him real quick. I do have him as my friend. Okay, so let's add him to the game. There we go. On the other side. Yeah, Volt, by the way. Tomorrow there's also going to be the European Grand Final. And it is going to be... Shoot, it is going to be at the same time as another game that was planned for NA. But I am going to go out on a limb and say the Grand Final is more important than like literally the first match of a season for some other teams on NA. So yes, we will be casting these teams. And by the way, the teams, I'm not sure exactly which teams they are, but my co-host tomorrow, both teams are French. So my co-host tomorrow will be none other than X-Pro, for those of you who may know him. Well, you probably don't. But we have some history together, an amazing chemistry. He has a great personality. Let me just tell you. Okay, yeah, he just accepted the friend request and invite to the game. So what did I want to say? Yes, so our first map of the night was going to be on, well, Jumbo Jacks are in blue, plus they're attacking the first map. So our first map, which is going to be Villa. Okay, so as I was definitely not saying Villa, blue team is Lumberjacks. And the other team is going to be Impact Elite. There we go. And they are being invited. Yes, so I know I'm hyping up like a game which is... I don't know how interesting it's going to be to the North American viewer, but Grand Final, me and X-Pro, we have a lot of history together, and he has a great personality and a great energy that he brings to the stream. Like, sarcastic humor is, I think, the easiest way to dumb it down and to present how he says something, something along the lines of, oh, he's not going to get the kill, and, oh, no, I'm just dumb, he does get, okay, well, just prove me wrong, go ahead, get another kill while you're at it, okay, maybe with a triple kill, as, like, the guy gets a 2 and 3 kills in a way that was unexpected, you know, and that kind of energy is just unique. He doesn't take it seriously, and that just makes me laugh in a way where in a setting where you usually don't laugh, and that's just the best, isn't it? The players are joining in, by the way. We currently have 4 on Lumberjacks and 3 on Impact Elite. Either of these roster here, anybody have any predictions? So Kenny, Impact Elite, they were 5 men's. No, they were LFO. They were LFO last season. And Lumberjacks, Bûcherons, they are the team that renamed from Remac. So they had poor performances, but they had some important roster changes near the end of the season. So truly, from Bûcherons, I don't know exactly what to expect. From Impact Elite, we'll just look back to LFO's performances. Okay.
I'm going to throw out a very wild prediction. I know nothing about either of these teams. I'm going to say Impact Elite, and it's going to be a 7-5 victory for the first map.
Okay.
And that's just a wild guess. Why not? It's fun to throw those out every now and then.
You know what I like to see. By the way, so we have revamped or hardened our anti-cheat measures, and Masa is now to be running before the game even gets launched, just to make sure that you don't sneak a hack into the game or a cheat into the game before you start Moss, and then the cheat can be shut down. But the game has already been altered, and Moss is never going to know anything. So one player had not started his Moss; he has to restart the game. So I mean, small, slight delays be added there. Nothing too major. But what I do love to see in the chat is hashtag imp for the win. So of course, Impact do have their supporters in chat. But then somebody just responds with hashtag log for the win. Bolo is worse than Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny, is that somebody in... Yeah, that is one of the players on the Impact Elite roster.
That's a
I, of course,
claim.
can't see the game screen. You guys can't see it just yet. You know what, Duel, are you yet in my Parsec? I guess I could maybe also want to add you in there. You are in. Okay, awesome.
I am in, yes.
That's
Yes,
great. That's great.
Yes. That's a bold claim saying that Bad Bunny is better than Bolo, but hey, again, I've never seen any of these teams plays. I'm super
here
excited.
to either show us, he can either prove us right or prove us wrong. Or actually, Bad Bunny can either prove Wavy's claim either right or wrong. We are here to literally see what happens. Also, somebody in chat asked, yeah, so Bridge, are you going to cast us tomorrow? TBG, so Thirsty Bastards. I plan on casting you, but then I remembered that your match is literally at the same time as the European Grand Final. And no offense, but the grand final is going to take a precedence on your match on that front. I did plan on casting you, but you know, most matches, like say this one, are played at nighttime, and you guys decided to play like during the afternoon, which makes sense because it's the weekend after all. But I still didn't exactly expect that, you know? So yeah, if it was like in the evening, I could have been able to cast you, but now due to the scheduling conflicts, this is going to be the European match that we're going to be casting. But hey, I wish you the best of luck. DJ Tutu is, yeah, this is Titans. Exactly. Let me just respond to DJ. It is. So wait, has the tweet gone out? I mean, since we're waiting for the player to join back in, I have a bit of time. Yes, the tweet has gone out. You know what? Let me also just post the message on Discord. There's no way to like record or like schedule a tweet on Discord, so I had pre-written it down. Just need to enter in real time, which I did right about now, and there we go. Awesome. Yes, last thing is just to wait for the last player on Lumberjacks on Bûcherons to join back in, and that shouldn't be too hard. I mean, we've been sitting here for
not too long, I would say.
Exactly. Imagine not being able to correctly write 3 letters of a team name. Wait, did I misspell something? Because like the players in game chat, you guys can see it, but in playing game chat, they say, imagine not being able to spell a 3 letters name.
I think you have everything spelled correctly, unless you did it on Twitter.
Let's see, on Twitter, I don't think... I hardly guess they would be reacting to Twitter. And in the overlays as well, Impact Elite, yeah, above us, everything is written perfectly fine. Lumberjacks or Bûcherons.ca, but I did actually copy and paste this. No, I didn't copy and paste it directly from like the Gilded. But hey,
the no cap I.
The no capital I. I guess their full name is .ca.
Okay, that's fair.
I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair.
Okay, we're.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we have it now. Yeah. Once again, chat couldn't see this because we're talking about the in-game. Oh, by the way, somebody just I'm muted. Like they're talking voice chat. Please type if you're talking to me. Yeah, so we wouldn't want to have like them scream in our ears. So I've muted the game for the time being. And so if I see their mics pop up, you know. And they're just saying, I love you, Hans. Well, let's just respond with an I love you too.
Somebody in chat said, do you have to do that Moss for Chimera? Yes, I would imagine so.
Yep.
We won't Moss all the time.
NA is different, different like SSG strats do not defend the side. I saw this work. I saw this work in Pro League once. That was amazing. Oh, so all 10 players are back in here. Ready? Let's see if the players are ready, because everybody is in here, but nobody is answering in a written form. Neither do I see microphone icons pop up. Nope, installing Moss. Oh no. 2 seconds. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yes. An anti-cheat is going to be needed. Okay. I apologize for the delays that we can expect to have. Impact saying we're ready. Okay. So it's Skybakes on Lumberjacks. Okay.
Yep.
So yes, this is the kind of stuff that we will have to go through like only once, right? Moss is going to be downloaded starting next week, and those kind of issues will not be recurrent. Somewhat bumpy start is not that unexpected and not that dramatic. Still, we would rather not have a bumpy start at all. But I guess you can still be somewhat understandable, our understanding of the players at this point. Nonetheless. So, our maps. Let's just talk about our maps instead. The first one is Villa, of course. I mean, we've talked about Villa a few times at this point. Oregon is going to be our second one, and Café Dostoyevsky. So, Villa. This map is quite interesting, wouldn't you say? Because I feel like it can reward both like heavy roam or heavy extended holds just as much as you could reasonably anchor and like almost full turtle strat on just about any bomb site that you could have, right? Let me take the example, for example, of the primary bomb site, so aviation and games room. You could have somebody in 90s hallway. You could have somebody like in the main stairs. And then like 1 or 2 players on both bomb sites. The last one in gun vaults and hunting vaults with like running cams, a Maestro or Valkyrie. And that's a basically turtle strategy or its typical strats. You could also have like 2 or 3 players roaming in the master's bedroom in that area of the map, or even, you know, Art Studio to stick nitro cells into study if the attackers do come in. And like both extremes do seem to be equally viable. So what do you expect coming off of Villa?
I am actually very surprised that Lumberjacks decided to go on the attack first, because that's not what I would choose. Of course, I'm also not playing right now, but maybe they have some stuff up their sleeve to where they're like, we are awful at defense, so we're going to go to attack first. But for me, as you were just saying, you can have people all over this map and just cams galore with everybody just waiting around the corner, waiting for one of the attackers to slip up. And as soon as one of the attackers slip up, it's all over. So I'm expecting a semi-decent roam game, but also I'm expecting only about 1 or 2 people on site for the defenders. I'm not expecting a lot of anchors, honestly. I would love to see a roam game and see how the Lumberjacks come prepared for that. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see a Valkyrie ban or even a Maestro ban, or even honestly a Wamai ban. Wamai's really strong on that sort of 90 hallway. Just put up the Wamais and it's going to be a utility dump after utility dump. So I'm expecting a Valkyrie and maybe even a Wamai ban, honestly.
Yeah, I was listening only like partly because I was typing to the players, because of course Moz has its quirks and I'm trying to make things go as quickly as possible. So you're right. I mean, utility dump is a viable strategy, especially if you still do cling to the 20 seconds meta, because it's basically the name of the game, right? You want to know everything, flush out the roamers, then take out all of their utility to make sure that your one and only attempt to execute is actually going to succeed. I mean, you're kind of putting all of your eggs in one basket when you're doing that, but that is basically the core of the 20 seconds meta. Don't need to go too deep into like the merits or lack thereof of any given strategy, because everything like a rush has its advantages and its disadvantages. So that was a brief overview of Villa. Our second map is going to be Oregon, and I feel like Oregon not exactly the polar opposite, but I would venture to say that yes, teams can of course create their custom strategies, but typically I would say that the range of viable strategies on this map is somewhat narrower, right? I mean, there's not that many ways of roaming, and there's not that many ways of extending. Think about the basement, for example. You're going to be extending into blue. You're likely going to have somebody in pillars. You might maybe want to have somebody stationed into the freezer area, but other than that, like, there's no way of extending, say, into the main stairs, right?
Yep, and I agree with that. Lumberjacks going to be starting, I believe, on defense on that map, and so I'm
Confirm,
pretty
yes.
excited to see how they do on defense on that. But Oregon's kind of a attacker and defender. I want to say sided map. It can go any way. I feel like neither one of them have a upper hand when it goes to the sides. Of course, I feel like almost every map is still slightly defender sided because of the utility dump and all the defenders bringing something different, such as Valk bringing her cams, Maestro bringing cams and plant denial, Smoke bringing the plant denial. You got the Wamai with his disc. You got the Jaeger with the ADSs. And so I feel like Siege itself is still a defense-sided game, but Oregon, I feel like, is the more of the balanced map out of all three that we have so far.
The thing I would add to that is I feel like Oregon really is a map that favors a really structured or a really well organized push or a good execute. You can't just, I mean, stumble your way onto the objective, or it is rare to see too many roamers, so you really have to have good like entry fragging capabilities, because just using, say, a Jackal and I'm going to say a Ying to flush out like 2 or 3 isolated roamers one after the other isn't going to give you the side at the end of the round. That's what I kind of feel is the name of the game here. I see that the players are talking a lot in game chat. Why am I installing a program as unreliable as Moss? Because there isn't anything better out there than Moss, which is truly a tragedy. Oh, they're saying WinRAR is the shittiest thing ever. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Moss downloads is protected. Like, you're downloading a zip file, right? But the download is password protected, the password being Moss. But the thing is, a password protected zip file is something that's not natively, I want to say, supported by Windows. So if you try to extract that zip file, it's just going to crash on you. So you have to get a third-party utility such as WinRAR or 7-zip to download Moss. And that's not written anywhere on the nohope.eu, the website that hosts the Moss program. So when you don't know it and you go at it with the expectation that Moss is going to behave like any other program, I go there, click the download button, run the installer, and it's going to be on the computer. Moss doesn't work like that. And when you don't know it, when you come in like not expecting these quirks to be present, you're going to be thrown off guard big time. And that shows in the chat here that the players are saying.
Yeah, and I'm just going to reiterate exactly what you said. You can't just expect that, hey, I'm going to download Moz and I'll have an anti-cheat on my computer. No, there's so many more extra steps that you have to do. And once you get Moz downloaded on your computer, don't delete it. Don't uninstall it.
Don't uninstall it.
Especially
don't install that.
if you're wanting... Well, we're going to be playing matches after matches after matches. Just don't uninstall it. Just keep it on your computer until after the season's over.
Yeah, I mean, even then.
Yeah, even then, just keep it.
You're always going to have issues with Moss because on top of that, it gets flagged by Windows Defender as being a virus because it is, an inherently intrusive program, and it wants to know everything that's going on to the computer. It's the name of an anti-cheat, right? But some viruses also do behave like that. So you're gonna have to whitelist it into your antivirus whenever you want to install it, and then when you're updating it, it is not the program itself, right? Because the program gets basically scrapped and rebuilt off of the new version. So the updater is a separate entity, which also needs to be whitelisted. And I mean, the possibilities for things going wrong are endless. I mean, let me tell you this: why is a Moss download now password protected in the first place? Because it used to not be like that. So, you know, Google, their search engine, they try to like not link you to like malware and like say virus hosting websites. So their algorithm is also going to be basically analyzing, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's going to be analyzing the content of a website. Oh, and the players are ready. And okay, so just to finish my story real quick.
Awesome.
And so it analyzes and it flagged Moss as being a virus. So when it throws like warning images everywhere before you log in, I mean, people don't want to go onto your website. So he did the password protected, so that like Google can't actually like analyze the content of the download file, you know? And so it's just a shit show all around. There's no way around that. So good luck. Have fun. And Villa Lumberjacks are attacking first. Let's jump right into it because we've been here long enough. Okay. Map 1, round 1. Villa, what kind of operator bands can we expect? Yeah, we're playing Villa here. Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Yeah, so Villa, what kind of operator bands do you expect?
I'm expecting the typical Thatcher ban, honestly, for one of the attacker sides. Thatcher's just he's become a typical ban, whether you're playing ranked or unranked or competitive. And there it is.
And there is.
Just a Thatcher. Honestly, I would expect maybe a Habana ban since her change, or maybe even an Ace ban. Thermite's still relevant in the game, but not as relevant. I don't think he's as strong as the other Heartbreachers. Ooh, we were actually.
Makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. I'm gonna say this. Lumberjacks, so they're attacking, so they might not want to get the best attacker ban off the table right out of the bat because that would kind of handicap them. And you know, momentum is everything. So if you win, say 4 or 3 rounds as the attackers, that would be pretty good. But at the same time, if you go for a ban of a weak operator, you also know that your opponents are then going to have an easier time attacking after the role swap. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe they like roaming a bit more, which is why the operator that counters the roam has to go. I mean, we would have to just keep that in mind and reflect back on that once the role swap has occurred to see in hindsight if that guess happened to be true or not. But that's what I would venture to say regarding Nomad. And with that being said, I mean, Cade and Mira, pretty typical, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, but that also leaves Maestro and Valk on the table.
Absolutely. Planting out capabilities, not limited whatsoever, or also the Intel-based gadgets, of course. Sorry, I did cut you off, though.
Oh, no, you're perfectly fine. So it looks like the first site we are going to is the Trophy Statuary Room, which is a pretty good site. We are going to see some roaming game from the Vigil on Impact Sports, but they are going to be kind of countered with the Jackal, and I'm interested to see how they're going to bring the Jackal into play.
Yeah, Jackal would definitely be the roam clear operator, and I mean, looking at the composition, there's a few players that I would see roaming. Fentix, of course, he's playing Vigil. Motzi could just be a Intel denial operator, but I mean, he also can be a pretty good roamer. And when you have nobody that's dedicated to roaming, Bad Bunny with the Jaeger would be the go-to player for that type of scenario. Barbara, you're in the Astronomy Stairs. Looks like Riser here, or Rixer. Never know how to pronounce those gamer tags. There's going to be one Evil in Astronomy. I always like to see the balancing act when playing Maestro, because if you want to put cameras, or Valkyrie cams for that matter, outside of the OBJ, well then you don't know exactly where the diffuser is going to be planted, or you're limiting your planting out capabilities and exchanging them for better, say, intel capabilities. It's hear something that Rixer decided to basically go half and half on. One of the Eagle Eyes is going to be directly on OBJ, and the other one is going to be trying to counter the, or to know where the attackers are going to be coming from. Fentix is roaming here in Classical Hall. Is it Armora? Yeah, so he is right here in Kitchen. Don't think he's been spotted out just yet. And Bad Bunny is there as well. So that's going to be a roam heavy game, actually.
And I believe with the roam heavy, they're just going to try and be aggressive right off the bat, it seems like. And he's going to be immediately droned out. And so they know that somebody is lurking around that area. And now the Jackal is going to get confirmation that there is somebody around on the lower area.
I mean, this round so far, and that's going to be a first kill, is shaping up to look really like as if the objective was directly on dining room itself. And if the attackers or the defenders were to lose too many players on those proxy areas, well, then it could make the push or the execute proper so much weaker, depending on like who gets those early picks. So far, Lumberjacks do have a pretty good like roam clear, and now they're trying to destroy the mute jammer in order to have Thermite open this up. But the impact trick could be dangerous. Rixer has lost a lot of health. I couldn't tell you. So he's losing a bit due to his impacts, but he also probably got shot through from beneath. They're trying and they're trying, but that's the utility that we were referring to earlier that's happening right now. And I believe Rixer still has one impact, so I don't... yeah, that was not gonna blow. Yeah. So yep. Lumberjacks using some amount of time and without getting too much in return.
And I believe with that successful impact trick, it seems that the Thermite no longer has any exothermic charges. And so now they have no way into that wall. So the hard breach has been denied as Fentix gets into a gunshot with Skies and wins that gunfight, making it a 4v4 situation.
But now Zax is looking to get a refrag, and Fentix lost a lot of health in that previous engagement. Though it's a 4v4 situation, I would say the time is ticking. Impact Elite, I mean, they're still going pretty strong on OBJ proper, right? Utility Dump didn't destroy that many defenses or didn't, you know, grind down the barricades, everything that's been set up. And they're still trying to flush out those roamers, so Lumberjacks really aren't ready to execute a push, and it looks like Turtle is still trying. He seems to have a tenuous grip onto OBJ itself, but right there's going to be Jaeger. Bad Bunny is receiving some amount of fire. He gets killed from Zax, who gets a double kill. He's now on OBJ. Fentix, last player alive. It's just a flurry of kills. Okay, so they did manage to just funnel in.
Yeah, as soon as they funneled in, it seems that the Lumberjacks just had control of sight somehow. Time was on Impact's side, and as soon as the Lumberjacks went into sight, it was Kill City. The Lumberjacks were just making their gunfights and they were just winning at that point.
Totally. Absolutely, totally. Yeah. So I am going to be eating my words because I was saying, hey, the time is ticking and you're still trying to more or less flush out the roamers. For example, seeing Zofia go into OBJ or try to push into the hunting room or the trophy room, should I say, seemed dangerous. As for example, Vigil had just gotten a kill at the bottom of the main stairs, and I mean, when you're coming in through study, well, basically your back is going to be to the main stair, the main stairs right here where Omaka is, and when Mati shoots drones. But the point being, I saw it as like a big risk to take, but Lumberjacks did not have a single cure in the world, which does prompt me to say that, hey, they seem to be masters of the 20 seconds meta, and that first round, they didn't seem to be breaking a sweat. They took their sweet time and it paid off. So I would totally expect both teams to play again like they did, because I feel like both teams really were in their elements, and Impact just got outgunned in this previous round. It might be a one-off thing or it might be a recurring team. Time yet has to tell.
And as we said earlier, this is the first game of the season, so maybe Lumberjacks is not exactly comfortable yet. That was the first round of the first match of the season, so there's still many rounds to be played. And like you said, maybe just Lumberjacks was just having a bad time at that point. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more of the roam game going on and try and have the Lumberjacks just end on time.
So it looks like the roam game is not something that Impact is going to double down on. Instead, they're picking a bit more, utility and intel-based operators. Bad Bunny here finding himself in a firefight, losing some amount of health, being chased down. But thing is, oh, there's IQ looking at this ceiling. No, that's not IQ, actually. He's being fired at from... Why rotating this way? Fentix, that was an unfortunate mistake. But I was talking about Bad Bunny and misjudged the silhouette. This is going to be Zofia who actually gets the kill. So far, Lumberjacks are looking actually pretty good. Thing is, the remaining operators can really be annoying to say the least. Now that Valkyrie's dead, of course, she's going to be sitting on cameras. Riser, I mean, those Banshees really do slow you down. Plus, intel denial operators can really be a pest right here. It's not just that your exoteric charge is going to be denied. It really is a kill that's likely to happen. But no, it's stuck to the ceiling. How unfortunate. Tripod here, or Tipod should I say, is now totally free to just plant the exoteric charge. And yeah, the push is not going to happen.
Yep, and it's just slowly, as you see that the Mozzie right here is kind of pinned down, and as Reichser gets a kill on Truth, making it a 4v3 situation, this is still all Lumberjacks' game, I want to say, as
yeah, so far, yeah.
The Mozzie is just pinned down, and he's going to have to make his own rotate, and he's just not winning this gunfight currently.
And I gotta say, Impact really do have to get a few gunfights, a few key gunfights. Skybiz is kind of isolated, so if he gets killed, no refrag possible. Chroma gets a kill on Zax, bringing this down to a 3v3, but there goes the refrag. Armorcod not being on OBJ, Rixer really has to hold on to both bomb sites on his own. It's not going to be easy. Plus, I mean, Thermite did open up the entry into Gunvault. But right here, there is going to be Armorcod, who made just a bit too much noise. That Nitro Cell could get a kill, but it does not. And MP5 is a good gun, but it's not good enough to win a 1v3 situation. Lumberjacks thus winning round number 2.
And Lumberjacks they're doing really well right now. Their attacking side, they're very coordinated. It seems like there's more of a communication on the Lumberjack side. And don't get me wrong, Impact is definitely most likely communicating to each other, but the attack is executing what they need to do every single time. Haven't really seen much of a hiccup from the attacker side yet.
Absolutely. So true. Yeah. They don't seem to be breaking a sweat. Like, they're losing players here and there, but that's to be expected. You cannot win every single engagement, and I feel like I'm just taking you guys for idiots when I dumb it down at this point. So, within reason, they don't really seem to be breaking a sweat.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. Like you said, you're going to lose people every now and then, but that's to be expected. Not every round's going to be a flawless round, but when it becomes a 3v or a 5v3 situation in the favor of the Lumberjacks, something's going wrong in the Impact situation, or maybe just that the Lumberjacks are just doing that much better.
So looking at basically the updates that Impact Elite are bringing to their composition or their playstyle, because what they did last round obviously didn't work out. So their updates is basically how they perceive they could counteract or basically rock, paper, scissors their way into winning a round against Lumberjacks, right? So for example, Fentix did realize, and with reason, that the attackers are coming in through the basement. So he's kind of expecting somebody to walk in from that door over there, and after all, he's pulsed. Plus, he could probably chuck an Nitro to the ceiling. But though he was able to adequately predict the spawn of the attackers, he is not going to be receiving any kind of company in the basement floor. Turtle actually is already all the way into walk-in closet. So let's see exactly how that's going to turn out. The reinforcements were not there last round, I believe. So that is effectively going to force him into running through the doorway, making his movement so much more predictable and thus easy to counter. But that does not exactly mean that he's also going to lose the gunfight or his life. I mean, nobody is holding, for example, here into Astronomy. So there wouldn't be even a challenge if he wanted to walk through that doorway, which is likely to happen in the next few seconds.
And so far, it doesn't seem that anybody from Lumberjacks has dealt with the pulse that's downstairs currently so far. But the Mozzie upstairs knows that there's somebody around bedroom, and that's going to be the Turtle of Ash. And so he's just waiting for the push, and he's going to be droned out immediately right now. So they know that the Mozzie is around there somewhere, but not exactly where he is. And there's going to be gunfight as Bad Bunny gets the kill on Tipod. Sorry.
And he gets another one. Nicely done. That was Thermite, by the way. Sinner is going to be able to flush Fentix out. Fentix seems to be struggling. But yeah, 3v4 situation. It is the first time, I believe, that Impact do have the upper hand. They're ahead only by one player if you want to look at the man count. But if you look at, the health pool, now things are starting to look really good for Impact. Plus, combined to the fact that one of the kills was the Hard Breacher. And after that diffuser has been lost, I mean, things just seem to be going so great, and now there's gonna be Zax who just shoots Omara in the back, and that should allow the attackers to recover diffuser. And with 1 minute to go, of course you could, for example, breach into gun vaults, but it's not the end of the world either. The roam game also definitely has been shut down. No nasty pulse is gonna stick an extra cell under your feet, or is gonna come back up the red stairs and shoot you in the back. So I would say it is shaping up to be a roughly fair fight.
And I agree with that. As the Jaeger just goes back to site, they're going to fortify down on site, wait for the attackers to come to them with 30 seconds left. It's definitely the defense that has the upper hand in this situation, unless, unfortunately, they happen to slip up or anything, which I don't see them doing, as Bad Bunny gets his triple kill on Zax.
Well, that natural cell could be interesting, but it did stick to the ceiling. How unfortunate. Skybiz, I never know how to pronounce that, is going to try to cover a plant. That does not work. Sinner now has to pull off the 1v3. 9 seconds. It was not going to happen, though he got the first kill. I want to say he didn't check a single nade. That could have been the one saving grace. And, I didn't notice that. Didn't quite get a chance to comment on it. Utility was kind of low on Zophia's front. Jackal, of course, I mean, with a Claymore can hardly execute a push using that type of utility. But 2 frag grenades by Sledge, that was huge. And it's kind of unfortunate to see him not use that piece of utility in his inventory to try and get 1 or 2 kills out of it.
And it's really just they couldn't control the Jaeger of Bad Bunny. Like he got a quad kill at the end, and everybody else on Impact, unfortunately, was also dying. But once they made it back to site, like I said before, the defense had the upper hand. And we haven't seen much of a difference between the lineups between the attacks. I don't think there's anything different.
It seems to be the exact same, indeed.
I believe so. They're still bringing the Jackal for the roam game that has been pretty well off, as Fentix has gone back and forth, I believe, between the Vigil and also the Pulse. But he hasn't really done much towards that roam game, as he is currently 1-3. That's not saying that he's 100% unsuccessful, but
kills are a big part of the equation. Yeah.
Eventually,
I totally get what you mean.
Eventually, you think, okay, maybe we need to swap out roles. Not saying that he's doing bad. Everybody has bad games, but even on the defense side, you're not really seeing much of a change in operators, as Fentix is roaming heavy on the bottom floor.
But you know what I would like to see? Maybe a bit more of a, I want to say coordinated roam. I don't know if that's like the best way of describing it, but see, Omarka gets a nice kill here, but if he was to die, Fentix would have been too far away to refrag in the very first round. So I see them sticking around a bit more closely to each other compared to, once again, the previous examples of that defense. And I believe that is going to be a good factor or a huge help in contributing to them winning the round. Skybiz here is going to get a Jackal ping on him. Fentix, though he's been spotted out, I mean, he's not going to rush heads down into a Jackal, so it's going to be to the attackers to come to him, and I don't see who really could challenge them. Probably Turtle, but no, he runs down to the basement. The ceiling isn't soft on too many parts of the map here, so he's maybe just looking for another flight of stairs. Yeah, exactly. Sinner's also going to fall down, victim to Bad Bunny, who's also roaming in his own part of the map. So yeah, Lumberjacks, were you a bit too confident, and does that translate into you making dummy mistakes because you believe you can just steamroll your way into OBJ? Because I feel like that's maybe a bit of a big explanation of what's happening right now.
And I agree with you, as a round of kills come in, as Bad Bunny gets his double kill and Turtle gets 2 kills as well, making it a 2v3 situation. I'm like you. I would love to see a coordinated roam attempt as both of the roamers actually end up going down.
They
And
kind
so
of did try that though, yeah. Oh
pretty
no.
much now everybody is on site, and it doesn't look out. He got the successful C4 trick instead of an impact trick on the thermite with, but he still has one more exothermic charge. As I say, as Bad Bunny gets a triple kill.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I believe with the natural cell, he was trying to go for the kill, failing that, getting the exothermic charge destroyed isn't the next best thing. But that leaves us with a 1v3 situation. If somebody could do it, it would be Turtleice. He's a beast of a fragger, but no, even a 1v3 is too much to ask of him. Chroma is just gonna make short work of him and thus prompt an end to the round. I want to say something. I want to say one thing. Both first rounds seem to be going Lumberjacks' way fairly easily. I mean, we did mention that, right? So I was getting, I don't want to say worried, but somewhat uncertain regarding Impact Elite's performances or odds of winning the map as a whole, because this map is defense-sided. So if you lose your defenses, you're going to be in a really tough situation come the rule swap, which is creeping up on us, by the way. But right now, 4-2 split would be roughly equal. But the early trend does not equal 4-2 ratio. It more or less equals a 3-3 splits in the next 2 rounds. So I don't know what to expect, but definitely Impact Elite seem to have caught up to what Bûcherons were doing, but they can't exactly fend out or hold off the slack either, as they're going to be in now a definitely weaker bomb site due to them winning their 2 previous rounds.
And I agree with you. The first 2 rounds, it seemed like it was going to be the Lumberjack show. And then the next 2 rounds, it was all the Impact Elite show. And I'm not exactly sure what changed between those 2 rounds. Maybe Impact Elite's just finally getting comfortable and realized, hey, this is not working. As you said earlier, maybe they were just like, our roamers need to stick together as much as possible and get refrag situations. That was not really their forte in the first 2 rounds. And then in Lumberjacks, they utilized that situation. So I'm not sure exactly what changed, but Impact is doing what Lumberjacks was doing the first 2 rounds. Both teams did a 180, as Lumberjacks is struggling and Impact is not struggling anymore.
Yeah, indeed. And I would like to equate that situation to one of my in-game experiences. One team, in this very map, by the way, one team was holding extended holds. For example, right here into study, they would have a mirror window and then an open part of the wall next to it. And the defenders were all the way into hunting vault, to hold the mirror window, not directly, behind the wall. And if you come in with the expectation of like using a Thatcher who hadn't been banned in that one map and then tossing a Selma charge, oh, that could be a nice kill, and then the natural cell is still going to detonate because it was not tossed by Chroma. Frag and refrag. There you have it. Adapting to your opponent really is the way to go. That's basically the... that's what I wanted to say through that anecdote. But hey, this is more or less what Impact are doing. They wouldn't have been that aggressive to basically challenge the very first entry point into the building as a whole in the previous rounds. And yet, I mean, it was a trade, but it was a trade that, in my opinion, was worthwhile.
And now it is a 4v3 situation, as the Lumberjacks have, I would say, the upper hand. But obviously, oh no. That is very unfortunate for the Habana.
It is.
Miss shooting those pellets, and they're going to have to shoot off those pellets before they can get more pellets off, unfortunately.
Bad Bunny is going to be pivotal here because, of course, as you can see, Sledge is just doing a number on the floor, and if that leads to free kills on OBJ, he gets the Sledge down, but of course gets refragged immediately thereafter. He got an important kill, but now there's going to be a 1v3 situation. If I was on Impact side, I would rather be in a 2v4 than a 1v3 because the ratio still is slightly better on that front. Riser isn't exactly on bomb site itself because he's afraid of the hatch, which makes sense, but at the same time, he's not exactly preventing the plant of the diffuser, which is happening as we speak. Pre-firing where he would hope some value to be, but that was just a wrong guess. And now his addition, of course, has been figured out. He gets a nice kill, but the UMP-45 is a weak gun, and still he gets a double, bringing this down to a 1v1 situation. Jackal, if he was to use his gadget, would be a pest, I have to say. Oh no, he thought he was above. Oh, how unfortunate. Bûcherons, winning round number 5.
And it seems that it should not have been a 1v1 situation.
It should not have been.
At that point, they knew where the castle was, it seemed like, and they just lost their gunfights at that point. As you were saying, the UMP is arguably one of the worst guns in the game, and the fact that he outshot Ash and maybe I'm not sure who the other one was.
Was it Zofia? I think it was Zofia.
I want to say it was the Sophia, and the Jackal was the last one. Yes.
Yeah. So 3 really good guns, actually. Well, Zofia's gun maybe is slightly above average, but like Ash and Jackal have really good rate of fires, a really decent recoil as well. So really guns that you would love to have in your hands.
And like we said, going up against the Castle UMP, it should have been a 3v1 situation, and they should have won that easily. 3v, making no mistakes, and he just hit his shots. Unfortunately, it happens every now and then. And now we are seeing Ventix actually switch off of that roam heavy side, and he's going to actually go towards the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie is going to be an interesting pick, as she is going to have all those black eyes and just have sight either on objective or just around objective as a whole, saying, hey, these are where these people are coming from. Let's try and flank them out and get the kills and make this a 3v3 going into the role swap.
Oh, it feels like the camera is on the wrong spot. But yeah, I was sticking to his perspective because I wanted to see exactly where those cams are going to be. The one behind the vault door really is interesting because it's going to have direct line of sight onto default plant spot, and it's not exactly an area where you would usually look for the Valkyrie cameras. And in that one round, Lumberjacks aren't exactly using an IQ either, so they couldn't know that the cameras there. Natural Sub pre-placements, where's that going to go? Oh, it's the doorway. Okay, so if Bad Bunny and Ormakov fall, they can then tell their teammates, just, hey, blow the nitro cell. But looking at their positioning, my question is going to be, are they going to be receiving any kind of pressure? Answer is no, but maybe an Skybiz is likely to hear the nitro cell now because he's going to be walking right next to it. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So they did have very good positioning, you know, because they were expecting a push that was exactly not coming from the angle they were hoping it was going to come from. There is a mute jammer here, but as you have a few attackers on the first floor, it shouldn't be too hard to flush it out. So yeah, it's just they're going to be playing for time a little bit, but nothing more.
And it just seemed as Turtle gets into a gunfight, Orma, I'm going to call him Orma because I'm not sure how to say that name, gets the kill on center, and that goes your sledge. And Sky is going to be getting in a gunfight with somebody right now. It looks like the Malus or the Mozzie, and he's going to win that gunfight. And a little bit too late of the refrag on Orma.
Wait, the Ash charge, where did it blow? Because it didn't get the first jammer. Second one is actually going to succeed. Let's just hope that the X-Kairos didn't get destroyed. Yeah, okay, so he really did shoot them accurately. This is going to load at the same time. There's going to be a Zofia probing the door right there. Somebody is in gun vault. I believe it is Chroma from this. Yeah, it definitely is the mute. And so he's peeking, just probing, right? Not exactly engaging himself into a firefight, but the attackers now would be really ready to plant. However, who does that diffuser? Diffuser actually is down, right? Riser gets a nice kill, but he's going to have to go for seconds as Zax right here. Ash is basically probing and challenging. Wallbangs are erupting. He's losing a lot of health, but he's gonna respawn in kind, and his shot is actually gonna hit the enemy's head to tickle his brain, so to say. Technically 2v2, but with Fentix being down, really it's gonna be a 1v2 situation, and Chroma does not have the nitro cell. Diffuser is not exactly likely to be planted either, so really it is going to come down to the gunfight. It is a deathmatch situation, and there's no in hell he's going to revive Fentix. But he gets Ash. Okay, 1v1. Don't reload in line outside of your opponent. That would be dangerous. So what's going to happen? Skybiz has no choice but to funnel in this C7. He's playing chicken. And that kind of bait and distraction really did work. Bûcherons, Lumberjacks, 4-2 split as the attackers for the halftime, for the role swap. That's huge.
It is very huge as we go into the split. As you said, this is a very defense-heavy map. So going into this as a 4-2, and now you're starting on defense, you're in favor of everything. The bank vault situation where they were on mute, and it was just very unfortunate that he had the SMG-11. Any other gun, maybe. Don't get me wrong, the SMG-11 is a great gun, but it only has a limited magazine. So if you miss those shots and you're down to 3 bullets, you're not going to get the job done compared to a carbine that has, 10 plus more shots than you.
Yep, indeed, indeed. Let's look at here Bûcherons' defense. So, usually game styles kind of come in pairs, right? If you are really aggressive as an attacker, say brushing, we might expect that player or that team to have a really aggressive defense play style. Talk about aggressively roaming and maybe even attempting spawn kills. So, Lumberjacks, 20 seconds meta, really methodical team. How will they defend? And do you expect them to extend, to roam, to anchor? I would guess that we will play utility, so that would kind of entail anchoring, but there's a lot of ways to play utility, so it's really a broad statement which I'm making here.
And I believe they're going to try and just stay on side as much as possible. As you have the smoke of center and the mute of Skybiz, they don't really have the equipment to go on roaming spree, so I imagine that they're both going to be staying around site.
To play devil's advocate, Zax and Turtle could, though.
Zax and Turtle 100% could, and so I believe what they're going to do is have 2 roamers, have Tipod stay around site, not necessarily, and then have the other 2 as an anchoring position, kind of like a 2-1-2 if you're into soccer and all that stuff.
Well, you're nailing the nail on the head. Zax and Turtle are roaming. Oh, okay, he's back on side due to the pressure, but then the other guys were on OBJ. So let's look at the attackers, because, I mean, Impact were able to flush out the roamers, not through kills, but, I mean, still, really easily with minimal efforts and with minimal time. 2 hard-breaching operators, but no Thatcher. Or, I mean, he's been banned, right? But, like, no Kali then. So Riser will have to destroy those bandit batteries, or mute jammers, should I say, in that specific instance. He's trying, and he's just not seeing it, but that's somebody's head, right? That was Sky. Yeah, that was Sky, and he just barely missed his shots. Hey, missing still is missing, and nobody is going to take any kind of damage from that. However, there's also a silhouette repelling here, so that is going to be your Hibana Ormaka, who likely wants to open up gunvolts, but then again, Zax is right there, and he's likely to shut down any kind of Excarios, but that is if he himself isn't getting shut down, or shut down. Yeah, basically is what I'm trying to say. And right now, Ormaka could open up the gunvolt if there's no mute jammer, which I don't see any. And
I don't believe that the hunting vault is mute jammed, and they didn't know that, as they waste, I don't want to say a waste, they Ash charge as Chroma gets a kill on Skybiz. And Orma is going to get the feats of center, making it a 3v5 situation.
So looking back at the previous rounds, there's no way to deny that like Lumberjacks were dominating their opponents, but just as much as they were winning easily before, now they're struggling is like an understatement, because they have no control on OBJ whatsoever. The 2 remaining defenders are outside of it. Diffuser is being planted, and they're struggling to get kills and to get back, even on bomb side. So Fantix is going to plant the launch box, that's for sure. And it's going to be played by Gunskill. He gets 1, nicely done. But then again, I don't exactly see how that round could be salvaged for Lumberjacks at this point.
And I agree, as they're just struggling their best to get back on site. It is a 2v3 situation, but it seems that the defenders are really well coordinated right now, as there's a gunfight and Turf Throw goes down, and Fintix is also, or not Fintix, I'm sorry, as Zax is also going to go down to Fintix.
Yeah, so there you have it. Impact Elite, just as efficient as Bûcherons were before them when they themselves were attacking. Did the meta just completely flip or switch? I don't think so. Did like the operator bans just shift that one map into the attacker's advantage? I mean, Cade and Mara are really strong bans. Thatcher is a crutch ban. Nomad could be argued. But I don't exactly think this is going to skew the one match into the attacker's favor at all. Far from it.
And I agree with that. I'm surprised we haven't seen more plant denial than what we've seen. Last round we did see a smoke, but we haven't seen much of anything yet. The defenders have pretty much C4 galore. Everybody except for Turtle has a C4 now, and that is very, very much a plant denial. You know, you're planting diffuser and you blow up. Yeah, you're going to deny plant.
Definitely.
that was the first time in 7 rounds that we have seen a smoke being played, which is actually very surprising to me, as he's kind of become like the norm.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, this entire map really is unique in its own way. I mean, if I was to look at this one round, having so many C4s is kind of an all or nothing situation, right? Barbed wires are really useful if you want to know if somebody's sneaking up on you. I would hope he wanted to have that camera a bit more hidden away, but hey, there you have it. This is the line of sight he's gonna have. Oh, he's actually preparing a run out. There's no other way. This is the only reason.
Yeah, it looks like as Skybiz gets a kill on Bad Bunny, that is very quick. Just kills after kills. As Tippett gets a kill, making it a 5v3 situation. They are out for blood, it seems like right now, as Rikers is also taking damage, and he is very low on health as well.
That was from here. That was from Turtle, actually.
Oh my. They, like I said before, they are out for blood.
They're out for blood. Yes, absolutely. Because, I mean, they had the upper hand, right, after the world swap when they were attacking nonetheless, and now the last round was lost in an unfortunate way. Not that one-sided or too decisive, but, I mean, still, it wasn't exactly close either. And I feel like Bûcherons really do not want that round or that map to slip away from their fingers. Turtle is right there, and he has not been droned out. Ormaka really did miss drone on that, and I mean he's gonna crouch walk because of course he doesn't want to get spotted out. But that is basically a free kill. There you have it. Somebody else is gonna be right there to the right riser. No, it's gonna be Fent. No, he's outside. Okay, my bad on that. And rappelling on the main window is also pretty dangerous. Fentix 1v5 situation. Oh, you don't take damage from that fall?
And it's saying a 5v2 up top for some reason, even though it's a 5v1 situation, as Fentix is just. It seems like he's just waiting for them to come to him.
No, it's a tactical timeout.
Okay.
Basically, he's discussing with his teammates what went wrong. How do we not make the same mistakes next round? So he's using the 1 minute, some seconds that remain as an investment into the next round to make sure to have a better chance of winning the next one, basically. And so to us, this is the perfect opportunity to discuss what went wrong here, what happened, and basically cast on that, analyze on that.
And what went wrong was Lumberjacks was just, as you see Turtle just take the dive out, trying to get the kill. And Fentix is now on a double kill, making it a 3v1 situation, but I don't see much happening from here, as the Lumberjacks was just very, maybe slowly getting a little bit too aggressive towards the end. As I said, they made it a 3v1, but the fact that they made it a 5v3 situation, getting 2 kills within 30 seconds of the round starting, really put a damper on an Impact's on their attack, as 5v3 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, as Fentix gets a triple kill, and finally
imagine the clutch.
If he would have clutched, I would have just left. You would have been on your own.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's absolutely true that this was the kind of round where Lumberjacks really had it in their pockets. And so maybe they wanted to just, like, force the end, right, by jumping out. But that kind of throwing the 1 or 2 lives away kind of does bring the odds back to a, well, somewhat equal footing. Oh, it was still very one-sided, but it was less so than it was before. And that gives just enough hope to our ace to Fentix to maybe attempt it. And he got 1 kill, could have gotten another one, maybe even planted. So, yeah, but the tactical timeout basically is going to say they're going to be roaming everywhere, right? I would expect to see a drone on every one of the typical spawn peaks, right? I mean, master's bedroom if you want to run out on the balcony. You can have somebody in art studio, main entrance, every single door you can think of. Mudroom window also can be pretty dangerous if you want to spawn on the other side of the map. I always forget how that's what spawn is called though. And so Impact really are likely to be sending drones out first instead of like their own lives, and then maybe all funneling through, I want to say, like the basement. This would be maybe an overreaction on their part, which they should probably not do, because looking at that next setup, I mean, a castle really does not okay, yep. Sound bug. Give me half a sec. The round itself had not yet begun, so they were allowed to rehost. Okay. Let's jump back in here, and my train of thought had been cut off totally. What I was saying was Castle really does not speak roaming, because, I mean, the barricade goes both ways. But then again, it doesn't necessarily prevent, say, Valkyrie or Jaeger to be attempting a spawn kill of their own. But, I mean, I deemed it less likely. Plus, that kind of play works only because of the advantage of surprise. So doing twice or thrice in a row really does make you predictable, which is a certain death in that kind of situation. So with that being said, I will leave you do the talking now, because I will be busy preparing that rehost.
And as I've been writing down in my notes, and the diffuser has only gone down two times so
Twice.
far.
Correct. Yes.
And then it's just after that, it's just been kills. The time has yet to run out. Whether that's if the diffuser's gone down, they haven't run out of time there. It's all been kills, as we can see by that last round. Lumberjacks just got really aggressive, and spawn peak, or I don't want to say spawn peak, but it was a 5v3 situation within the first 25 to 30 seconds of the round, which really helped the Lumberjacks in that situation. They have been kind of going back and forth. We started out with Lumberjack getting 2 rounds, then Impact getting 2 rounds, Lumberjack getting 2 rounds, and so it's been this like back and forth brawl between these two teams, as now it is a 5-3
It's a 5-3, yes,
in favor of Lumberjacks, and they are still on the defense side, and that's going to really help out them overall, because as we said before, Villa is a defense-sided map, and so now they have Impact Esports wondering, are they going to be aggressive? Are they not going to be aggressive? Do we need to take our time? Do we need to be aggressive in that sense? And so Lumberjacks has the upper hand there. They're playing the mind games with Impact right now. As I said earlier, Impact doesn't know what Lumberjacks is going to do. They probably didn't expect all those runouts and getting all those kills at the beginning. And so now Lumberjack can do whatever they want to do. If they're going to be aggressive, they're going to be aggressive. But if they want to take it slow and have the attackers wonder and drone out every nook and cranny, then they're just going to be playing on time at that point.
So the rehost has been completed. The players have been reinvited. Also, just let's just make sure that the settings are correct. So we're on Villa, Thatcher, Nomad, Mira, and Cade. Yep. Lumberjacks were on blue. It's a 5-3 situation. So Lumberjacks, or AK Blue team, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds won. That's the end of their round history. And Orange team, aka Impact Elite, have 1, 2, 3. The round history before the rule swap doesn't really matter, because it's not going to impact or have an effect on the where the defenders can and can't go. After the round history, we went trophy first. That was won by the attackers, because the defenders were struggling. And then blue team, so the defensive roaming spawn kills was really, really aggressive, and that won them the round. Okay, with that being said, sorry for the delay or distraction. Impact is Canadian. You're right, I didn't update the flags. You're right.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, both teams are Canadian.
I think you told me that before the stream even started, and honestly, I completely forgot about all of that.
Yeah, both teams are French Canadian tonight, and there's also another match. The other match in parallel between Impact Esports and Surf. Mm-hmm. Both teams are technically French Canadian, so Canadian, but then like the organization, the org Surf, has its headquarters into I think it's Australia, so they're basically an APAC org with rosters in NA, and they also have rosters in EU, but I don't think it's a Rainbow Six roster. So somehow they're like a global orgs, and that's really cool to see, because I mean, when I was like a team owner back in 2018, that went nowhere. Obviously, I'm here now, but having just 2 rosters to manage, one in EU, one in NA, was just like such a headache. Because I mean, managing, say, scrims for another team with a different scheduling and jet lag really was difficult. So guys, are ready to go again? All 10 players are in here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you know the drill. Good luck, have fun. Resuming 5-3, and may the best team win.
I love you, Ants.
Love you too, man. Hey, you know what? While this loads, let me just disable that UI, that overlay. If I go in here, disable that, just to make the UI a bit cleaner on the edges, make it more interesting or more beautiful to watch.
More beautiful to watch. Love it.
Okay.
So they are going back to dining kitchen. Pretty much the same lineup, I believe. Yep, pretty much the same lineup from both teams.
The action phase hadn't yet begun, right? So they were entitled to the rehost, and because of that, they did have like half a round to maybe drone out the defenses. I hardly think it's going to matter, because once should just be enough to know roughly everything there is to know if you're aggressive with your drones. And if you're conservative with your drones, if you don't want to lose them, well, then you are going to know where they are, tag the players once, and then, you know, save the drones as much as possible. So I would venture to say that the previous rehost isn't going to have too much of an impact regarding, like, what do the attackers know regarding with regards to the defense. But it does slow down the game. It does put a pause. I mean, it is a tactical timeout as much as it is a rehost. And that does give the players time to think. It kills the momentum. Not that either team really had one, but Lumberjacks really had an amazing round with the spawn kills, which I don't believe they were going to try to basically repeat that past success. So I'm gonna go out on a venture and say that one rehost shouldn't have too much of an impact on the round. But oh no, Tipod, you're not gonna do the same thing again. You wouldn't dare.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
I think he's going to try it again.
He is.
Oh,
He is.
that's going to be a very interesting situation, as I believe Impact would. I hope they're ready for this.
They should know. So if Omara would be the only potential victim, where are the other attackers? They're in here. Okay, nobody's in Art Studio, expecting for them. Fentix here, Mudroom window. Okay, no, that's gonna be the by statues, by trophies. Sorry. Yeah, no, the entry points are way less conventional than they would have been before. And that's as a direct response to the one round that they just lost, you know, before that previous rehost. There is Turtle, or Matsu's silhouette over there. He's out of pests, so of course it's going to destroy the drone. He has a nitro cell, but he's no pulse. So Ormaka could be, I guess, a potential victim of his, but that's unlikely to happen. I think actually the point of him being here is to knife down the window and then shoot at somebody that's trying to come in through the one door over here, which actually has been opened up because, of course, Valkyrie was preparing a run out, which never exactly happened. So Impact Elite would be the undisputed masters at the top floor. No roamers up there to challenge that for them, but they don't have a sledge and they don't have a buck either. So really, if they want to destroy the floor, it's going to be up to like Sophia and maybe Jackal's shotgun. Not exactly, you know, sledge level capabilities, but still, Bad Bunny gets a first kill. That's going to be Skybiz off the table, off the board.
And as we said, as we were talking about earlier, you had potential of runouts, and that's kind of I don't want to say it's a double-edged sword. Either it's going to work or it's not. But you have all of these people off site now as Center gets the kill off of Chroma, I'm sorry, making it a 4v4 situation.
It looks like the no turtle is there, like Fentix. They really are, they're on a hunt, they're looking for something, and he is going to find Omraka. I suppose Fentix is not going to turn around. Hard Breacher plus Carrier the Diffuser, if he dies, that's going to be the exact definition of an impact frag. Turtle really is in his element right now. He's wrong, but no, he didn't expect him to be right behind that one pillar. That's going to be a nice kill, bringing it down to a 3v3 situation. As I say this, another frag, and not exactly a refrag situation, but no, okay, yeah, no, it wasn't a frag refrag. So 3v2, the defenders still have the upper hand, and if Lumberjacks win this, it's going to be a 6-3 situation, you know, points-wise. I would dare say it would be a point of no return, because being down 2 points is something. Fentix gets a nice kill here, but being down 3 points in a match point situation, that's a lot to ask for, and I wouldn't reasonably expect that comeback to happen or to occur too often. God damn that lag, but Bad Bunny gets a kill. Zax, last player alive. If you lose this round, the game is lost for them. Oh, he has a nice peek. Peeks an angle. He gets the kill. Now a 1v1 situation. The gun advantage is going to come to Bad Bunny. R4C really has the upper hand, but the UMP45 hits like a truck, and he is going to get the kill. No, he plays for time. Okay. Hey, you said we never saw a round end because of the timer. It eventually happened.
It did eventually happen. The lag there, unfortunately, was happening to us at the
so
same
annoying.
time.
Yeah, so annoying.
But it's perfectly fine, as they did not seem to know where exactly he was at that point, unfortunately. And the time was ticking down, and I can imagine what was going through the comms as saying, he's right there, and everything. And unfortunately, time was of the essence, and now we're going to 6-3 match point. Lumberjacks is looking, in my opinion, great right now against Impact Esports.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good. I mean, I didn't exactly have time to delve too deep into that, but what I was talking before, the point of the return is, reasonably speaking, I mean, a comeback still is possible because the game isn't over yet by its mere definition. You could still have, you know, a reverse sweep happening. However, realistically speaking, how often do you see a 3 points win back to back to back when you're back against the wall, when the momentum isn't going your way, and when you're being beaten at every, you know, turn of every corner, basically? So yeah, Impact, they did show us that they're capable of winning a round here and there, so they are going to win 1, maybe 2 more rounds. But I really do not expect to see this match going into overtime, and I'd even less expect them to win, even if it's still technically speaking, feasible. So let's look at the possibly final round. Bad Bunny spawning, you know, by the stable. That's interesting because it makes for some interesting, you know, possibilities if you want to enter through Mudroom. I mean, there's never a roamer expecting somebody to enter through here. Gives access to, say, Astronomy Stairs, and then you can basically backtrack or shoot any roamer that would be in Master's Bedroom in the back, right? But he's not going to opt for that entryway. So instead, the remainder of the push to the main door. Yeah, it looks like they're looking at the main door.
And I don't believe anybody's down at main door, as they would have been stopped already. And he's just, Chroma is slowly going to make his way up the stairs and face no difficulty, as pretty much everybody's on side except for Zob, which is on the other red stairs. And he's just, everybody's pretty much on site, just letting the attackers come to them, which I believe when you're in a 6-3 situation, I feel like that's a smart move. You don't want to get too aggressive and close it out, as you just have Impact. Like I said, you want them to come to you at this point.
I would, however, try, if I was in the defender's shoes here, to have somebody around 90's hallway, because I feel like locking down like the corridors could be really interesting. But you're right, being overly too aggressive and taking these risks, which at this point you really do not need to take, is just an unnecessary liability at this point. So yeah, Turtle is going to venture with a slight run out. Azar also gets a nice kill, and he is going to fire, but not exactly land too many shots there. I believe there was a drone feeding into, there you go, the drone actually pushes in and is going to feed some more intel to his teammates before actually being shut down. Losing Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny was one of the top fraggers of Impact Elite's team. So yeah, entry fragger off the board. Not too many possibilities, as you know, hard breachers and everything are still there. But gunfights kind of do tend to win rounds, right? Za with a double kill there. That's 3 in total. Looking for the ace, maybe. Fantix here is in main stairs. He is caught between a rock and a hard place. That's going to be Turtle denying the ace, but getting a double kill. Bûcherons Lumberjacks getting the flawless round, and that is going to be GG for map number 1. Yep. It wasn't a flawless map. I mean, it roughly never is, but at the same time, it was a pretty decent rounds history that they got there. Never struggling too much, never truly being backs against the wall here.
Yeah, and I agree with that. The rounds that Impact did win, Lumberjacks, I don't want to say that they even struggled with those rounds either. I believe pretty much the whole time Lumberjacks had the upper hand, and they look good. Impact, they had their moments where they looked good, and we're going to see how how it's going to look as we go into Cafe for the second map, and I believe, it's Oregon.
Slightly mistaken,
I'm sorry.
exactly. Oregon's our second map, and Impact are attacking first. So let's just pick that really quick. And the player said we're already ready. No need to go for like 5 minutes time. So yes, blue team is still going to be Lumberjacks. Orange team is still going to be Impact. However, Impacts are attacking first. So let's just give the orange team attacking first, and well, you guys know the drill. Good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. So that was quick, wasn't it?
That was very quick. I really like we didn't have to take long between matches as both teams are just ready. I love it. I would expect, honestly, I kind of actually, as I say that I love it, I kind of wish that Impact would have talked about what went wrong in the last match, as they did lose 7-3, and Lumberjacks was looking rather well. So I kind of wish that they kind of slowed down, but if they're ready, then they're ready.
So, Alberta bands. Looking at here, Oregon really has a different pace altogether, but it does not seem or doesn't feel like it's going to be that different. Lumberjacks being the defenders, I would have expected them to ban out a Thatcher, because now, I mean, you can't exactly have I'm going to say a Cade protecting those hatches, for example. And yet, they don't care. And with Jackal being taken off the board, well, those bans are odd, I want to say. They're unorthodox.
I feel like the Jackal ban was a little bit of a target ban, because, Lumberjacks did bring a Jackal a good bit. Or actually, no.
Yeah, so they were playing Jackal from time to time, and they were being Bûcherons, like the Lumberjacks, they were being pretty efficient with that as well. Who was that? Was that like Turtle, I think? Or I'm bad with names, like by heart memory. But all around, thing is, like, Nomad is a stable of Lumberjacks' band. They did it last time as well. However, not banning Thatcher is going to make the hard breaching phase so much easier, and this map in particular, the basement area, can be heavily affected by hard breaching if you're talking about, the extended hold into the bunker area. I had a brain fart, and Goyo definitely is going to be a map-tailored ban, because he's not a blanket ban at all.
Yep, and I agree. And I'm surprised we didn't see a Thatcher ban, and I'm also surprised we didn't see more of a hard breach ban. As I say that now Impact is bringing a Thatcher and a hard breach. And we had the Cade coming out for the defense. I feel like that's a typical defense lineup. I don't really see, as I was going to say, I don't see why they're bringing the Bandit. They're going to 6-pick off the Bandit and onto the Smoke.
Which is quite interesting, because they would have had no planting line operators if that wasn't the case. And that's exactly the point, right? Full Impact into thinking that nobody could actually properly challenge the plant of the diffuser, and then have them face a nasty surprise when they actually do spawn into the map. But interestingly enough, to tripod here with the Cade, I always do like to see what the attackers or the defenders are doing with Cade, because once again, imagine if Thatcher had been banned. Sometimes you can be quite clever to hide the Electric Claws from an IQ or from an Ash or Zofia from underneath. But right here, I mean, once again, with Thatcher being present, there's next to nothing that you can do to keep those alive. The only hope that you can have is to flat out just kill Thatcher, basically. And that would require aggressive spawn peaks, because I wouldn't hardly expect him to be on the first front lines. He's not going to be playing entry fragger, because, I mean, Bûcherons aren't exactly playing stupidly either, right? So right here, Turtle still is being quite aggressive. If he wants to try it, he could go for interesting wallbangs. But no, those pre-fires seem too specific. He's been drawn out. There's no way if not.
And I'm not necessarily sure if that was a drone out, as they were just crossfiring him as he goes down from Orma, making a 4v5 situation. He didn't really do much on the roam game, and I believe he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time when they were shooting the windows, making his health low, and then eventually getting the kill off, as Bad Bunny is facing some resistance from Zaha in Master Bedroom.
Yeah, so once again, Bûcherons being quite aggressive, because that worked flawlessly for them before. But as we have another lag here, it looks like Impact are a bit more ready this time, right? So they know exactly what to expect, how to counteract that. How high the mapping go for us to not see like a full 5 seconds of the game? Wow. Yeah, that's really is the game. I saw people in chat before. It's not the stream, it's not Twitch, it's not you. Like, it's literally the game that's been captured that is just freezing on us. So attackers do have a foothold into Attic, but there is still, I want to say it's Sinner. No, it is. Oh, it's Tipod. But he is going to be falling back. That window right here could be really dangerous. Ormaka could be trying something. Sinner getting a nice kill on Chroma. But then again, I mean, Ormaka can just vault through the window and basically pick up where his teammate left off. At the same time, you only need like 2.5 seconds of free time to barricade that hole, and that would make the attackers push into, say, kids' dorm so much more difficult. But that's not going to be happening right now. Raz are using the Thatcher EMP grenades, and there you have it. Ace. No? How did it not work? Did it like fall through the floor? That's probably what happened.
I'm not sure, or if they tried to. No, they didn't impact trick it. There's an explosion right there, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there. As Bad Bunny is going to be taken down by Za on the first floor. So I imagine it was actually an Ash charge that they were trying to get, as Ormer gets another kill on Tipod, making that a double kill for him.
Sinner is going to be stretched thin. Well, the defenders as a whole are going to be stretched thin because the attackers are all using different angles. Being aggressive was the wrong choice here, even though I did see how that calculated risk seemed appealing. Double kill for Sinner, so he's now in a 1v2 situation. But of course, they're all around him. That's what I was saying, right? They weren't like all three pushing from one angle and pooling their firepower together to really deny the one doorway. They were using different cross angles, and that really did paralyze the defenders. When Melusi wanted to go on a roam, she got shut down immediately. And after that, Smoke just had to rotate, and the same fate awaited him.
Yep, and it's pretty much just what you said. They were surrounded at that point. It was a 2v3 situation, I believe, or maybe even a 2v4. I'm pretty sure it was a
2v3.
Yep, 2v3. And Melusi was in the wrong spot. Smoke was in a decent spot, but as soon as they lost that Melusi, it was just watch your angles, watch for him to rotate eventually, and then it was all over as Impact gets the first round on Oregon.
Yeah, semi-decent, but at the end of the day, it was still a precarious spot to be in. So interestingly enough, Bûcherons could have gone up at this at the second floor again because they lost, right? And no, they are going to elect for a supply room and laundry room, so basement, right? And that is going to throw Impact for maybe a bit of a spin. I wouldn't expect them to be caught off guard too much, but I mean, hey, it was still, you know, a something that Bûcherons couldn't know, that Impact couldn't know for sure, and that is, you know, anything that can be used to your advantage, you better use it to your advantage. Of course, that shield has to be planted behind the angle because you want the ADS devices to eat up those grenades. And some barbed wire. I mean, it's all three of those ADS devices. All three of those. Okay, so that's really interesting because, of course, we're pooling all of your utility on one place, just making really sure that Sinner does not get taken out by, say, a frag grenade. But first and foremost, there is no frag grenade. There's not even a flash nade. Fentix with the smoke, it's hardly going to do much, right? It really is just to protect the deployable shield. But the other thing is, if anybody receives any kind of utility anywhere else, there's not going to be a Jaeger ADS device. So really, it's an all or nothing type of scenario that Bûcherons have set up here.
And it's just going to be, they are going to hope and pray that that smoke does not get taken out super early. If he was going to be taken out in like the next 30 seconds, that's going to be a really bad damper on the defenders as they've lost that position, and the attackers are just going to not worry about those ADSs much anymore as there's a gunfight happening outside of the basement situation in construction. And as I was saying earlier, if you take out that smoke, there's hardly not going to be anybody in that L shape unless they bring somebody to rotate in and take his place.
which shouldn't be too hard, right? Because the opening still is behind Sinner. And I mean, looking at it, okay, so you would usually have, say, a Maestro on camps who would be sitting in the closet, but Skybiz wouldn't be too far off. But actually, Zax lost a lot of health. That was due to a gunfight, right? It is not due to, like, Capital's fires. So, yeah, oh, Sinner being extremely aggressive, plant denial capabilities, lost like that. Really, really unfortunate. The drone also saw Zax, so he's gonna die as well, because of course he does, leaving us with a 3v4. Razor could be revived, but you get what I mean, situation. And he did pick up the slack, so he still is in the elbow area, taking a wide peek, which taking risks, but hey, if it works, it actually does pay off. This one's gonna go down, but Turtle is left to his devices to deny the entirety of the rest of the map, and that is no small task asked of him, right? He would be hard pressed to deny a plant, so really Skybiz has to stay alive. He does, falling back successfully, but of course the wall is not gonna get reinforced, so that's basically one more angle to pay attention to. And at this point, I would say, you know, Lumberjacks are being pressed pretty tight. I don't expect them to win out the round, but hey, a clutch would of course be nice to see.
And with that gunfight right there, they're pretty much going to know that Turtle is going to be in the freezer, and they know where Skybiz is as he gets taken down by Rexer. And now Turtle is going to rotate over to the plant, and he's going to try and deny the plant, and he gets 1 kill. Can he make it 2? I don't believe, as Fintix is going to get the kill on the Turtle, I'm sorry.
So, a few mistakes, key mistakes have been made by Turtle, right? Somebody that was actually Capital was standing right in front of Fentix. I mean, Fentix was planting with his face up his teammate's butt. I mean, literally, right? So that could have been an easy double kill, which would have then denied the plant of the diffuser in the same breath. Unfortunately, he didn't realize that somebody was still there. I believe he could have seen like the end of his elbow, but not the full silhouette. So I guess I can understand why that double kill didn't exactly happen. But the other grave mistake that was made, there was a drone sitting in the middle of the corridor towards Pillar that saw everything that Turtle was doing. And just having this kind of intel at hand is just so much of a disadvantage to be in. And the drone, like I said, wasn't hidden at all. It was just sitting there in the literal middle of the corridor. So that's just your tunnel vision when you're in the heat of the moment. And you could argue this did cost him the round, because Turtle does have a good gunplay and gun skill. But when the enemy knows what to expect of you, there's no way you're going to clutch that.
And just to reiterate what you said, they knew where he was going to be coming from, and there's possibility of him coming from one of two angles. Either he was going to come from freezer and go through that little hallway right there, or he was going to go through, rotate from laundry into that other way, and it's just pretty much just wait and watch at that point. They already had the fuser down. So it was pretty much just hold your ankles, wait for him to come to us, and get the crossfire and an easy win for Impact towards the end there.
But you know what? I'll do you one more. Lumberjacks became too aggressive, and we saw them be aggressive on the one round where they spawn peeked everything on the previous map, so I guess I can understand where it comes from. But remember how Smoke with the shotgun was challenging that? Remember how Tippa, the Melusi, went prone, you know, hard left, hard right for the attackers right there, open to the first pre-fire that comes. This is typical aggressivity, right? They had decently defensive angles. They could have just waited for the attackers to come to them, play for time. You just have to be patient, right? Because they took risks, which they, in a million years, shouldn't have taken. And that really cost them 2 unfortunate kills. But it looks like Rox is going to be misthrown. No, Ash seems to know where he is, and that's going to be the end of him. Oh, Bad Bunny didn't even take a single point of damage in return. That was a good execution, if I do say so myself. And of course, the rest of the team is going to be pushing into the bunker area. For better or for worse, it is looking like a redo or a do-over of the previous round, with the one notable exception of Zax being already dead. So Sinner really cannot afford himself to just start rushing into the attackers when he feels that they're relenting the pressure.
And I really hope that Lumberjacks don't get the aggression that you were talking about from last round. That I agree that cost him the round at that point. And Sinner's going to hear the barbed wire being hit, and he's going to throw one of those smoke grenades, or smoke canisters, I'm sorry, to slow the attackers down as much as possible. And he's getting aggressive again. He doesn't die, but he's getting way too aggressive, as Aura's going to get a kill off. Kill Tippa.
And that is not the shield being destroyed. Okay, so that shield's still up. He's trying something. That doesn't work. The smoke canister, once again, being tossed too far out. Reloading is going to be dangerous. Thing is, there's a Capitao, right? And the One My Magnet could deny a Capitao bolts, but not the ADS devices. He's still there, still being an absolute pest, but he's not getting those kills. And I mean, Chroma basically walked in front of him. Oh, this one is not going to blow. Okay, taking risks. Shotgun will be good. He gets it. Okay, he gets him. Nice, but no. Working the pump mechanism really was his demise. Skybiz is right there. But at the same time, Bad Bunny is also on supply room. And if he wants to push, he could maybe... Oh, Skybiz is pushing in. That is huge. Double kills, but he's going to get refragged. Turtle now in a 1v1 situation just like before. Just like before his last player alive, but unlike before, now it's a 1-to-1. No diffuser planted, 25 seconds on the clock, and the time pressure, like I said, lays on the attackers. This is looking very doable for him.
And with 15 seconds left on the attacker side, it seems like they know that he is in Freezer's situation. And with that Legion Mine coming out, Bad Bunny's going to get the rotate and not necessarily win the gunfight against Legion, as I spoke too soon. Bad Bunny getting the kill off of Legion, and it should not have come to that situation. Bad Bunny should have won his gunfight a little bit sooner, but eventually he does, given Impact the win.
What can I say except the attackers? That's not the same team that we're talking about if compared with the previous map of Lilla, but the attackers are still just steamrolling through. I mean, you could say that this is Impact's map, so it makes sense that they're going to be having an easier time there. But yeah, if this early match was to be anything to go off of, to bet on the remainder of the map, I would tend to say that an overtime tiebreaker, I mean, third map of Cafe, would be pretty likely, wouldn't it?
I agree with you. As Lumberjack are going to go back down to the basement site again, and I guess third time's the charm. They lost 2 rounds, I don't want to say decisively, but it came down to a 1vx situation both times that they came down to this site. So yeah. I'm not sure exactly why they're not going to a different site. The only thing that they've changed differently is changing the Malusi to a Ella instead, and I'm interested to see why they decided to do that. It's going to give off intel as to where they're going to come from as those elements go off.
I would like to add something though. Am I just blind, or also has been Cade added to the mix? It might really just be me who is missing it out. But Zax, I don't believe there is a way to electrify both the walls and the hatch. It's been engineered just that way. Or is it just barely possible? Let me see.
I believe it's possible, but I'm not 100% sure. But you are right, they did bring the Cade instead of the Bandit this time.
So the interesting thing is hatches and stuff, but also Sinner has played better than before. However, he still got caught off guard. This time, he was fumbling with his guns. SMG-11, has to be reloaded, pull off the shotgun, work the pump mechanism because he just fired a shot off. But really, for his sake, I hope he's not going to be pushing in. Plus, once again, Chroma was able to just walk in front of him, unchallenged. The other update, why is Cade there? Because this time that wall has been reinforced. So you really want to box the attackers in and force them to go in front or to challenge Sinner. He also only has 2 ADS devices this time around. That could be also a problem. The other is going to be somewhere else, which also is going to be needed. Anywhere somebody is anchoring, you would ideally want to have a Jaeger device. But of course, Sinner really does live only because of that shield. So if the ADS devices get overloaded, Ash or Zofia will have an easy time, or even Ace, to destroy the deployable shield, and then Sinner is going to be done for. And that is going to be happening right here, right? There you go. And, oh no. But there you go. That's exactly the difference that one single ADS makes. And now he has to pull back.
Yep, and it seems that Impact is not going to go for that construction take, what they have done in previous rounds. They're going to try and take more of the pillar situation as Tippett gets a kill off of Bad Bunny, and he is going to, I believe, where was that at? Was that off of pillar?
No, they were roaming. Like he
wow.
was at the top of the freezer stairs. Like Turtle is also roaming up top, and I guess Ash is going to be here in the vicinity somewhere. But if I was the attackers, if I was Razor, I would expect like a roam game to be coming my way eventually. But Turtle does not seem to be too eager to do that. I mean, Tipod also. There was a drone. Oh no, Claymores everywhere. Okay, so that's why Razor was feeling pretty confident. But now if you're facing two roamers, we're destroying claymores left and right, and you have to there you have it, right? A single player can only hold one angle at a time, and that is an absolute poor position to be in. He's gonna get 2 kills in rapid succession. Leaves us with Chroma, last player alive. Yeah, 30 seconds to go. He doesn't have full health. The AK-12 is a pretty decent gun. Oh, that could have been a double kill, but no, he misses the headshots. Pre-fires, of course, are going to prevail because, I mean, he was out in the open, right? So there you have it. Flawless round. Lumberjacks, though they lost 3 rounds back to back to back, they are showing us they did still have it in them to win at least one in a flawless fashion. So, hey, I'm going to be extremely positive here, and maybe too much so, and I'm thus not accurately reflecting the reality of the situation. But let's just chuck it up to our Lumberjacks needing some time to learn their opponent's play style. And now that they know how to counter their pushes, maybe with a bit more roaming, let's just say, well then now they might be on their way for a winning streak. I mean, it still is heavy speculation, but one thing is for sure, they won not just by a flip of the coin, they won in a flawless fashion, so they definitely did figure something out.
And I agree with that, but also it took Lumberjacks 3 rounds to learn
absolutely
what Impact was doing, and it cost them 2 losses on basement to finally put a stop to Impact. Now they're going to Kid Storms, which is kind of that's where they first had their defense, and they lost that in pretty good fashion, as well as it was I believe they only got 2 kills off of that situation, or that situation.
Yep, right. It was a
that round.
Yeah, correct.
And so maybe they have learned and they see the code what Impact is doing, but we'll see as we have Turtle going down and maybe even roaming down.
He seems to be doing. No, he's gonna try a spawn. Yeah, okay, no, yeah, he's roaming
Okay.
aggressively. Okay. But that makes a lot of noise, and that's gonna be Maverick coming up for him. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, even if like that hypothesis I just made a few minutes ago, say they took 3 rounds to learn everything there's to know on Impact, they still lost 3 rounds of the process. That means at best they can, have a 3-3 split, which would still be a disadvantaged situation for the defenders to be in. And then everything will have to be done over again, because after the rule swap, well, then they will have to know how Impact are defending. So all of that knowledge goes out the window. And one bandit battery has been destroyed, which is going to be good enough for Ace, I suppose.
And it seems that Sax is actually, unfortunately, wasting his time over in that small tower, as nobody's coming towards that way. They are all seems to be around there's no attackers over there, and Sax is just wasting his time, and eventually he's going to have to try and rotate back to site. And that's going to cause a lot of time if the defenders cannot hold and do what they need to do.
I would say maybe his point of being there is just to feed intel, right? Oh, 2 silhouettes by the main window. One seems to be peeking. I mean, it is not hard intel like a Valkyrie camera, but you can still say, hey, watch out for the main window. And if there's nobody by the main window, well, then you could have your backs turned on it and look at, for example, those angles right here. But at the end of the day, you're right. He's not actively defending the OBJ, and if Impact were to funnel in, because gunfights-wise it is going to be a 4v5 situation, well, then he is going to have to he's going to have to go through the retake situation. And it looks like the order has been given. Get back on site. Timer's running down. The attackers will be making a push soon. So Zax is coming back. Turtle, well, was also moving his butt, but I guess he's hesitating somewhat. However, yeah, Zax still is playing, the sneaky pulse game. Both of them have nitro cells. Oh, that's why. Both of them have nitro cells. Okay. But Ace was able to open this up. Rickster gets a nice kill on Tipod, so that's not like the roamers, right? One nitro cell has been chucked, but it does not blow just yet. Zax is waiting for the order. Or, wait, no. Zax is not yet giving the order to Turtle, but the defuse is being planted, so It was a poor toss. Is he going to be able to deny it? It is going to work, but that was due to his teammates from above. Okay, 3v4 situation. Sinner losing a lot of health, but getting the kill on Omara at the same time. Those smoke canisters are being tossed out. Who is right there? That's Chroma. He's sending a drone, but that's the thing. Riser would have been shut down if Pulse was still over there. He still gets shut down nonetheless. 2v1 situation with a flare of kills happening. Turtle has to deny the plant, but he has to get the kill on Chroma first because, of course, the cross angle has been established, and that is not going to happen. Impact winning yet another round, and at this point, I would say, yeah, even though Lumberjacks won the previous round, they didn't learn enough to win the following one.
And really, the most impactful one, well, I was going to say most impactful, even though they lost the round, was the plant denial. But it just seemed that the attackers were ready, and I want to say they gained more from the plant being denied than anything else in that round. And usually it doesn't go that way. And they still had a 2v1 situation towards the end of the attackers, and it just seems that the Lumberjacks are just struggling to learn exactly what Impact is doing. It's 4-1, and I can easily see this going as a 5-1 scoreboard at the half, which is, I feel like, unheard of. And that's going to put the Lumberjacks in a very bad situation.
You're so right. What can I say? At best, the defenders can hope for a 2-4 split for the role swap, which is going to be at the end of this round. And 2-4, you'd usually want to have it for the attackers. But having the situation, you know, flipped upside down, put on its head, that is not looking good. I mean, we're only roughly at the half-point mark, and I can already see that Lumberjacks are struggling hard. I mean, there's no way around that. And in addition to the roster is going to be Turtle, who is hiding in the basement, so he truly does not want to be spotted out. He does not want Impact to know that he's there. So I suppose this kind of implies that they're going to be doubling down on roaming. Tipod is already roaming as well. Skybiz, I mean, he's Jaeger. Due to the composition, somebody else is roaming, and thus you need to keep him on OBJ, but he, as Jaeger, could feasibly roam as well if he wanted to. I don't need to explain why or how Pulse also might not want to sit on OBJ. Oh, has the window been double tapped? So they're ready for a run out. So that leaves us with only Sinner, who has to stand OBJ. Really mobile composition, but oh, yeah. Mobile gives possibilities, but that does not equate to necessarily getting the kills. If he's peeking down to the basement, maybe Turtle is going to get the... no, he also gets shut down by Chroma! So that attempt by Lumberjacks is failing miserably. You know, Zax already has to fall back on site. Almost in a panic, right? You would not want to have your Pulse fall back that early into the round. And that just speaks volumes to how much Lumberjacks are struggling.
And I agree, like, with 2 minutes left and it's a 3v5 situation, this is the exact opposite of what we saw in Villa with Impact and Lumberjacks, where Impact was down 2 people. And so now they have 2 minutes to take objective, which I believe they're going to do pretty, I don't want to say pretty easily. I don't want to jinx myself as I'm talking right now. But everything's going in the way of Impact right now. And so I wonder if it's necessarily that they have learned Lumberjack's playstyle, and I'm interested to see how they continue doing all of this.
I felt like Tipod wanted to run through that ace opening and wanted to try and get a kill here. But that would have been, you know, too aggressive. That's something that Lumberjacks are known for, taking too much aggressivity when they shouldn't. That Claymore is kind of stopping Zax dead in his tracks. He's looking to try and see if he's going to get an easy kill, but I don't think Impact are going to give him such easy picks. So basically the plant is likely to happen pretty quickly. Fentix, oh, he's looking that way. They might maybe expect him to be there after all. I believe I just saw the flick of a drone in the main stairs, in the main lobby. There you go. The jig is up, so he's not going for it. She was reloading, but no, he is not going to get the kill. 2v4 situation, 1v5, that flawless round, I can't even say what's happening, and something else already just occurred. Impact winning a flawless round. That is now a 5-1 scoreline. It is even worse than what the Lumberjacks had against them in the previous map. So, I mean, at this point, just like before, has a point of no return happened? Realistically, do you expect Lumberjacks to be able to pull off a reverse sweep now that they have the quote-unquote easier side? Even though it sounds really weird to say that the attackers have the easier side on this map. But is there anything else I could add, right?
I don't believe that Lumberjacks can come back from a 5-1 scoreboard, unfortunately. The Lumberjacks, I believe their playstyle is just being way too aggressive when they don't need to be aggressive. And Impact is greatly making that
Attackers need to locate and
Lumberjacks' problem, and they're utilizing that situation as Impact is going to go down to the basement, and hopefully they'll have a better what's the word I'm looking for, situation than Lumberjacks did, as Lumberjacks went there 3 times and lost 2 of it. And so it's going to be very tough for Lumberjacks to come back and do a reverse sweep.
Yeah, absolutely.
10 seconds left before
So,
insertion.
compare and contrast. I guess that's the second best thing we can do. Let's look at what's the difference between Impact and Lumberjacks' defense. They're still going to go for the extended hold. Only 2 Jaeger ADS devices, not 3, which just got blown to bits and pieces over there. The same, same setup. There's a barbed wire there. That opening, Ormak. Is he using bullet holes? He was trying that, and it kind of worked. I mean, he didn't get the kill, but he did steal some health away from Turtle. And, I mean, it's not a flat-out huge win, but I guess a small victory still is a victory. And all around, I mean, we're talking about typical strategies on OBJ itself, but where are the other guys? That speaks volumes. They are roaming quite aggressively. If you can, like, deny access to Big Tower by having Bad Bunny there, that would be huge. Is it Fentix roaming as well, holding on to Freezer Stairs, really denying any kind of creative entryway into objective to Lumberjacks. If they want, Freezer would be the least defended area of or entry point of the bunch, except maybe for like main stairs, but main stairs really is a weak entry point. So I truly do like what they're doing. Oh, and the magnets are there to basically replace the one ADS device that was missing. Yeah, I guess I really do like that. And Skybiz is going to be figuratively burnt right there. He tried to do something, and they're reinforcing behind him. Chroma basically saying, hey, I'm a dead man, reinforce behind me, and, I will sacrifice myself for the greater good. But they elected against that, and I can see why, because he is not in that desperate of a situation either. So really, Lumberjacks are saying, plan B, let's rotate, and this is where the roaming game is going to come into play. Jaeger getting 1 on Turtle, looking for a second one. Which shield is that? That's Zax. Yeah, so he was in Garage. Zax now basically looking at Garage, not knowing what to do. But Bad Bunny was mid-rotate. He's in meeting hall now. We're not too far away if he wants to shoot Zax in the back. But let's see if that exactly is going to happen. As for the time being, he seems to be very conservative, very scared for his well-being, for his life. And that basically prevents him from executing a push, artificially creating a 2v4 situation. I say 2v4 because, I mean, Bad Bunny is there to create this scare in him. So Bad Bunny, as long as he's not rushing in, isn't exactly contributing either.
And it just seems that everything's going in the way of Impact Gaming right now, as they still have a smoke canister out. He's not out of that L-shaped hallway yet, and they still have to deal with him doing that as he tosses, I believe, his last smoke canister as Bad Bunny gets a double kill, and now is a 1v5 situation. Make that a 1v4, and Chroma is going to sneak on up and get the final kill on center. And I want to say that Impact played that to a T. They played the Lumberjacks, and Tippa is going to say that he is way too drunk to play this game. I hope that's not this Tipod. I'm sorry, I said Tippet. I hope that's not the situation, and he's just joking. But Impact 6-1 scoreline. They are running away with this.
Yeah. I mean, if the 5-1 scoreline wasn't desperate enough, 6-1, it's just a humiliation at this point, right? I don't know what to add on to. Words are getting hard. Wow, I don't even know what to add on to that, because it really is one-sided. It seems like no matter what Lumberjacks are trying, there's a counter that's already in play, already being executed by Impact, and by extension, there really isn't anything that can be done by Impact, by Lumberjacks, and therefore the morale has to be pretty low. This map is already lost, right? So I don't really fault them at this point, but going into the next map with a low morale, that is going to be hurting.
Yeah, and I imagine that Lumberjacks are like, I don't want to say that they've given up on this map.
I don't think so. They don't
it
seem to be
is-
giving up.
No, but
It's
I can imagine
lost
that
either
they're
way,
getting
yeah.
ready for Cafe, as there seems to be a little bit of a lag there. But like I said, I don't think Lumberjack's going to give up until the match is actually over, but they cannot look back on this map going into Cafe. They cannot let this map get to them as they may go into the last map, and they have to pull together and become the Lumberjacks that we saw on Villa.
Oh yes, the Lumberjacks that we saw in Villa against the Impact that we're seeing right here would be a beast of a show. And I mean, remember how they were spawn peeking from everywhere with perfect team coordination? That's the kind of stuff I want to. That's the kind of stuff that you could see literally in a final. So hey, what can I say except, guys, both of you. I mean, Impact don't exactly need to wake up, but Impact keep on going, and Lumberjacks wake up to what you had before. And goddamn, would that be a beast of a game?
Oh, it would be a great game, but I wonder if Impact is slowly figuring out what they need to change for Lumberjacks. Lumberjacks, it seems like they're sticking to their guns. They haven't really changed their game plan. As on defense, they were aggressive though almost the whole time, and Impact knew that they were going to become aggressive, and now Bad Bunny is going to get the kill on Zax.
That was hard breacher not gone. Sinner still could rotate. He still has a decent amount of his breaching torch left. But that just goes to show how desperate the situation is becoming, as you're now losing player after player. 2v5 situation. An execute is going to become really hard to pull off. Grenade might be attempted, but of course Context no longer is there. Plus there's a default camera, which I don't know if it's been shut down. Somebody's outside. Okay, that's all the way by, I want to say, big window. Not really too big of a burden on here. But Sinner does not know what to do, right? As soon as he picks to the doorway, he's going to expect somebody to be there. And you can see that he's already expecting he expects a shadow or a ghost to pop up at any moment. And that mental state to be in really is going to have much more of an impact on the game than, say, losing Tipod or hesitating that much. Just is a huge crutch to be dragging along with you, basically.
And it seems that Sinner is pretty much just a one-man show, as the Thatcher's just sitting there just trying to help out as much as possible. And now bullets are flying as Bad Bunny gets his triple kill off Sinner, and now it is left down to the Thatcher in a 1v4 situation with 30 seconds left. Very hard to come across, but you never know what could happen. As there are no more C4s for plant denial, and there's no more smoke grenades as well. And Zax is already saying good half as Bad Bunny gets his 4th kill, ending the round, ending the match, and we are going to Cafe.
We are indeed going to Cafe. And hey, once again, the game is lagging. That's not the stream. That's really the game. Delgado is being fed a static signal. So I guess another thing I'm going to have to do is formatting the computer. I truly have to do that now. But yeah, good half. Okay, I am going to play devil's advocate a little bit here. I'm going to say this was Impact Elite's map, so you could maybe more or less expect them to have the upper hand on a map which they are supposed to be very well accustomed to, which was exactly the same thing that we saw on Villa before that, because it was Lumberjack's pick. So now that we're going on a more or less neutral map, as your camera, by the way, is looking really weird right now.
My camera?
Yeah, you're like look at the screen share I'm sending you on Discord.
Oh, no.
That's odd. Yeah, so you is an alien.
I am an alien. Great.
Yeah, no, but for real, this next map is going to be neutral, and as unfortunate as it is, I mean, they were, Impact wants to take 5 minutes. Sure. Yeah, so sorry about that small distraction. thing is, we were saying, hey, if the impact from this map and the Bûcherons from the previous map were to come face to face, that would be an amazing show. Unfortunately, I would expect the opposite to happen, as we're going to go in a neutral map, so it's neither going to be Lumberjacks who have this amazing strat set up, neither are Impact going to be that ready for the next upcoming map. So I would expect that we're going to be having like the Impact from the first map and the Lumberjacks from the second map, here comes Fix by the way, going off against each other. So if you had to make a bet, which of these two teams would you expect to win, assuming we see their weaker selves out of like the two maps that we've seen?
Ooh, that's a very good question. And honestly, gosh, I want to give it to Lumberjacks, but unfortunately, I'm going to actually choose Impact. I chose them for the first match, and they kind of disappointed. But the second map, they did not disappoint, as they won in very good fashion, a 7-1 scoreline. And I think that's mostly just Impact learning what Lumberjacks is doing. And I feel like Impact is, they're, like I said, they're learning and they're adapting. And Lumberjacks is learning, but they're not adapting to what Impact is doing. And so they're failing in that department. Lumberjacks, they have good gun skills. They have, they have the fraggers that can hit their shots. But when you're, and they have pretty good, decent, team chemistry and team coordination. But it seems that Impact, like I said, they're learning what Lumberjacks is doing. And so I'm interested to see if we see the aggressive Lumberjacks that we saw in Villa come to play in Cafe with not necessarily the spawn peaks, but the quick kills within the first 30 seconds of the map.
That'd be cool.
Or we're going to see them play more passive. I would like to see them possibly play more passive if they have a chance to win against Impact.
Mind if I stop you like for 2 seconds? The players wanted to take 5 minutes. I would also love to take 2 minutes just to refill my water bottle, and I would assume you would like the same. So my suggestion to you is I'm gonna take 2 minutes to refill my water bottle, because like you were on a tear, and I would just let you keep on going on that train of thought. And when I come back, then you can refill your water bottle. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Is my
Awesome.
camera still messing up for you?
No, your camera's perfect.
Okay.
So I'll be back in like 1 minute. It's just like filling up the bottle, right? Be right back.
You're perfectly fine. I'll entertain. And so I'm just looking at it. Nice cam, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, my cam is not doing the best right now, unfortunately. But he said that it gets fixed. So I'm interested to see if it actually did get fixed or not. Oh, I'm still watching stream, and it is so far not being fixed. Oh, there it goes. And as the stream is like 3 minutes behind, fortunately, it finally did get fixed. I'm back. Luckily, you could hear my voice the whole time as to what I was saying. So that was always fun. Hashtag imp for the win.
And I am back. So how's it been?
It's been pretty well. Just been reading through chat, and I saw exactly what you were talking about. My camera messing up for some reason, but finally it is back.
Yeah, it went back.
That makes me happy.
So here's the thing. Impact are ready to go. If you want to refill your water bottle, I mean, I can manage like operator bands just fine without you.
Okay.
But if you don't need to, I mean, I would be good to go.
Okay. Let me just disable my camera real quick, and I'll go grab some water real quick. So give me just 1 second.
Yep. Perfect. So yeah, Cybiz did confirm to me that he was ready. So send them the good luck, have fun. Just to make sure, Kafidusayevsky, yes, the orange team is attacking first, so that is going to be Impact attacking first. And with that being said, let's jump right into the match. I will have one thing to do though. It's just to jump into the next game, aka like operator bands have been reset, and that is going to be good as is. As a competitive on Cafe, I should kind of disable that overlay on my stream, I guess, but hey, okay. Marode is saying Stun team, the rank you wanted swing. I feel like Lumberjacks or Bûcherons' weakness is being overly aggressive from time to time, granted, but then again, being that aggressive served them well on the very first map by around like 8, I want to say, when they spawn peaked everything. So yeah, it has its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages. It looks like the players know exactly who they want to ban. Like Jackal's countdown went to 3, 2, 1, or jumped to 3, 2, 1 immediately. So these bans aren't the same as the first or the second map, but they're like a hybrid in between those two. So far, no new ban has been seen. Impact, who do you want to ban out? Mira would be typical, and there you have it. So yeah, Mira really is a crutch ban on defense just as much as Thatcher is on offense. The last operator ban that you may expect to see, I don't know, a plant denial such as Maestro would be normal, wouldn't be too unexpected. Cade, of course, would also be normal, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot more latitude on the defensive sided bans than on the attack sided bans, right? Thatcher and Jaeger seem to be banned like 90% of the time, and there's like so many different combinations or arrangements of like 2 operators that you could ban, that saying that, you know, they're being banned 90% of the time is a huge statement to make. So hey, I didn't exactly say it out loud, but Melusi will be our latest ban, which also does make total sense. So with that being said, I believe you are back, Duel?
Yes, I am back, and
Welcome back.
I think I got here as soon as the Mira was banned, and with
Gotcha.
Mira being banned on Cafe, that's actually a pretty strong operator to ban. I'm a little surprised in the Melusi ban, but I'm very interested to see how her being banned impacts the other teams.
Attackers need to
You're right.
locate and defuse as many
She
bombs
wasn't
as they
used
can.
that much, but I believe Lumberjacks did use her a little bit when they were defending. And I guess she can be annoying. Once again, not exactly a game changer, but better this than, say, Jaeger, right? If you're good with nades, you might want to ban Jaeger, but he's also a really good operator that you are sorely going to miss when you are going to be defending. So I totally get where they're coming from. That defense so far really is typical. Fun fact, I'm not a player, I'm not on a team, but I did sit through a strat creation setup or process literally yesterday, Friday, and that setup so far is very similar to what we have come up with. So default strat is... Yeah, go ahead, Kai.
Sorry, I was just going to reiterate what you were saying, that the default strat, the default setup, and it seems that not necessarily that there's going to be any roamers, as they
wait.
have.
Okay, no, it's been reinforced from this side. Okay, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but that would have been a huge oversight from the defenders. Sorry about that. Keep on going.
Oh no, you're perfectly fine. As you have so much intel now with the Valk and the Maestro, which is amazing to me that they have brought both of those operators out.
You're right. Plus the Legion. Legion isn't exactly like a camera operator, but when the Gumine pings, it's smart to know where they are than to exactly deal damage, right? Maybe to slow them down too, but Barbed Wire, just like a Gumine, could be construed as being both an anti-rush and an intel-based type of utility.
A bomb has been located.
And I agree, like, as soon as that Gumine goes off, they're going to know whereabout the attackers are going to be coming from. So as you see that the Jaeger's downstairs, and he doesn't seem to see where the drone is, so he's going to be droned out. He is, as actually Zax gets the kill off of Bad Bunny.
So yes, he lost a lot of health. Of course, there's no Doc in that composition. Doc really brings next to nothing in terms of utility, so he's not going to be present too often. I feel a manhunt being set up there. I believe it was Omarka. Omarka is right here. Of course, Chroma was on our warmer's heel for a few moments at this point. But Turtle went down into bar, I mean, on the first floor, and I don't believe Impact are aware of this. So they're on a goose chase. They don't know where he is. He's no longer there, so they're chasing ghosts, and that is going to lead to a free kill. Wow, how unfortunate. Chroma is likely to turn around, though. No, he's at the top of the stairs now. I hope for your sake that you have a Claymore on the red stairs, because Turtle would have the perfect opportunity to just walk right up those stairs. Oh, no, there's an air jab. Okay, I mean, it's just as good as the Claymore. Therefore, Turtle maybe is making the right choice and not pursuing them and keeping his cards on the table to maybe just run back on OBJ. But, oh, hey, that cross angle is really interesting. As long as there's nobody on the skylights. But the soft wall goes both ways. How unfortunate. I also see Chroma just sneaking his way onto OBJ. He's not bringing the diffusers. He couldn't plant, but he has a nice angle to just get a kill or two. But wow, struggling to destroy a camera is going to be his demise, his loss. Riser with a nice kill. 2v3 situation. Now looking to get a second. But he's doing a little bit, but he gets one Fentex with a kill at the same time. The tables have turned. Sinner is now a last player alive in a 1v2 situation. And he seems to be out of Evil Eye cameras. And also the Black Eye Valkyrie scams are not feeding too much intel either at this point. So 10 seconds remaining. Plant is likely to go down. Can he deny it? It does not seem too likely.
No, as with 5 seconds left, he's going to sneak up around there and maybe, nope, not quite get denied the plant as Sinner gets the kill off Fentex. Fentex, or Reichser, I'm sorry, is now in the post-plant situation, and the Sinner needs to get rid of that diffuser and reload his gun. And there's just a duel as Sinner gets the double kill, killing Reichser, disabling the diffuser, and winning the round for Lumberjacks.
But you know what? I'm gonna go like big picture here. This is the type of first round. Let's just hope that this is gonna be indicative of the rest of the game as a whole. That I do want to see, right? Lumberjacks won the first map. It was a blowout. Second map, same thing. But for Impact, and right here, you can see that both teams really do seem to be going toe-to-toe. Both teams had their moments, right? Jaeger just roaming with like clever movements without being a Caveira, without being a Vigil that is, having or using a kit tailor-made to help him out in those kinds of situations. He just went off of general knowledge and game sense. And then the attackers, of course, getting like 3 kills back to back to back in 2 seconds. That allowed them to plant. And then Sinner, Maestro, through the smoke with game sense, wall banging, or I guess like blind firing into the smoke to get the kill on the plant or the diffuser. Too little, too late, but that brings it down to a 1v1 situation, which he was then able to also pull back. Wow, that's the type of stuff you want to see. Can we get more of that? Talking to both teams here, please give us more. We want more, but I don't want any more of those lags though. They're annoying.
And just as you were saying, I really hope we see more of those back-to-back situations where it looked like it was going towards Impact, and then Lumberjacks took it, and then Impacts took the momentum, and I really hope what you just said comes to fruition, as that first round was just amazing.
5 seconds to go.
And I really hope the rest of this match is exactly just like that.
Attackers are moving out to
I do like to see how the composition is going to remain similar. I mean, for example, Maestro, Evil Eye. I don't see an Evil Eye being placed too often in those bomb sites because, I mean, the nature, for example, reading room being an L shape makes it quite hard to have good line of sight on like most of the objective. And on the other side, I mean, it's basically the same thing, right? An Evil Eye here, no matter where you put it down, I mean, the enemy could plant behind the bomb, no matter where behind the bomb is, by comparison or in relation to the Evil Eye's placements. So unusual composition for those bomb sites. You want to have a good presence at the top floor, which I guess is the case, but you usually take a castle with you, that kind of stuff, right? So Lumberjacks really going with the custom strategies, and if they have custom strats, and if Impact do not, how much is it going to impact the round? Impact. But yeah, as I say that, Zax is running out, and that was an aggressive plays. I guess it worked, and he didn't get refragged, so luckily for him, nobody was outside. I mean, around garage, or what would you? And hey, that was a gamble that he took, and it happened to pay off. Congratulations.
And with that, it seems that there's nobody going to really know that he's on that blue stairs or white stairs, I'm sorry, until it's too little too late for the attackers. He ran by and there he goes, getting a double kill off of Bad Bunny, making it a 5v3 situation. Nobody seemed to do anything towards Zax, and so he's still alive, having taken no damage for him whatsoever. And he's going to eventually be flushed out as Reichser gets the kill on Zax, making it a 4v3 situation. And Skybex, it looks like he's just going to rotate away from those stairs, and hopefully, and it seems that the attackers have control over site, but there's still people underneath as Center gets a headshot off of Fentix.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this situation really is precarious, to say the least, because whoever has control of the area above OBJ has control of OBJ by default, because you could hardly plant by having like a Zofia exactly where she was. But those are the attackers that are above, and the numerical disadvantage that they have really is a problem, because in a 2v4 situation, a 1v3, they could hardly plant. So having like the high ground, having like the strong position, but having the numerical disadvantage that they had was good, or was useful to offset this disadvantage situation. But eventually it wasn't enough, as Tipod right here is going to get the final kill. And wow, yeah, I'm formatting the computer like tomorrow, or I'm formatting it yesterday.
Yeah, as the lag spike hits again. But as
so
you were saying earlier, just because you have control of objective does not necessarily mean that you are doing good. If you have control of objective, but there's people underneath you that can stop the plant from going down, that can still take you out, there's no point of having control over objective if you cannot get the plant down and you cannot get those kills for the round win, as Lumberjacks has showed that Impact had control over objective, but Lumberjacks was still underneath and they could still deny plant. And as soon as they killed the diffuser, the Lumberjacks had control of the situation.
Looking at this round, it is going to be extremely interesting, because I can see Skyb you're setting up an extended hold, right? There's a deployable shield right there, rotational here, just basically to cut down or to shut down a line of sight that somebody could have from that window by making the angles extremely so slanted, right? You're only going to see like the far end of the wall. Evil Eye to help out, but the thing that's going to be worrying me is Jaeger. 3 ADS devices, no OMI, because of course Magnet OMI isn't there. So 2 ADS devices here, there's going to be next to nothing directly on OBJ, and it would not be too surprising to see the attackers Impact go for a top floor, push, basically top down push. And if they have control of the area above the objective, like they did in the previous round, grenades flying through the ceiling or through the floor, depending on the perspective, could be really dangerous. So having very little amount or very few ADS devices on OBJ itself could be problematic, to say the least. And my expectations seem to be fulfilling, as Ermaka is, fleshing out the top floor, no rumors there. It's just a matter of time before he falls down or he goes down into train. And those silhouettes right there are, beneath us. So only Zax might maybe want to run back up the red stairs, and he alone isn't going to stop the full brunt of Impact's push.
And it seems that Lumberjacks are going to do exactly what they need to do. They're just going to hold down defense, and it seems that they're going to, I don't want to say allow Impact to have top floor advantage, but they're not really trying to deny that top floor advantage either.
Nomad's going to be problematic, because they're not going to be able to run back up. Zax has been spotted. He wasn't spotted. It was just like a pre-fire of an nade, just to be sure. But in the meantime, he can no longer run back up because there's not an air jab.
And I'm not sure if he knows, he actually knows that there's an air jab there, and he's going to shoot it. And now he's going, I'm not necessarily sure if they know that he's going to try and take third floor control.
They don't seem to, because they're not going for him. If he goes by the hatch, that could be huge. If he has hatch, I mean, he has a free kill on Chroma. He's doing that. He's doing that. Okay, that's... Oh, but Chroma's no longer there. Okay, so that's really interesting here. How's that going to turn out?
He
just has to bide his time, because, I mean, he has the power position on the power position that Impact were holding. They're not exactly the 20 seconds meta territory just yet, so I don't think they're going to be executing a push, right about now. But they're shaping up to try that, or a Chroma back here, so it wouldn't be too surprising to see him go back into train. Zach just has to bide his time, and there you have it, a free kill happening. Now he has top floor control, and he can inflict on the attackers that will funnel into OBJ what the attackers want to inflict on him, and that is going to force Rixer to just divert resources that he wanted to push in. That no longer is possible. Bad Bunny, same thing. He's no longer pushed into OBJ. But Zax isn't going to run behind him to get the refrag on the refrag. The hatch right here is going to be really, really dangerous. But Zax isn't too greedy. Dropping down. Oh, okay. I guess he didn't have to, but dropping down could have been dangerous too.
And it just, as soon as the castle took control of second floor, I don't want to say necessarily that the round was over, but nobody knew that he was there. Nobody knew that he went up those red stairs, destroyed the Nomad air jab, and took second floor control.
By the way, how did they? Sorry, I'm cutting you off, but go ahead.
Just saying that he had control of second floor, and as soon as he had control of second floor, nobody had any drones still up there, obviously, because they weren't expecting him to be up there. And so as soon as he had it, he had full reign of everything that was second floor.
And here's my question. How did he manage to establish second floor control? Because there's no way you can have a claymore if you're behind it, right? Just like you could a drone or I don't know, a Valkyrie camera if it's flying on the floor. But an air jab, you can't get close to it because that's how the gadget operates. So my question is, he has to shoot it down with that gun. UMP-45 isn't exactly a quiet gun. How did how did Impact not even realize that a gun went off next door?
I would imagine that there's just nobody. Maybe by that time, the Nomad and I imagine the Sophia just happened to rotate away, and they just may have mistook that as a shot coming from somewhere else and not necessarily those red stairs, is what I would imagine.
That seems like a very plausible explanation, because the vertical sound cues are really poor in this game, right? If something is on your left, you don't know if it's on your left below or on your left above you, right? So now that the floor has been destroyed, that creates lines of audio, if I can present it that way, and therefore you can now hear better what's going on beneath you. And that ended up probably confusing Impact into believing that somebody had shot something on the bomb site beneath them and not right next to them, literally, which is really unfortunate, because the sound engine on Rainbow Six isn't impressive or anything. It isn't groundbreaking, but it does a trick, except when verticality is included into the mix. And that's also something that I would argue is pretty important. There's two drones right there, by the way. He only shot down one. And Ace is going to do his job. And that was Wamai. Tipod was quite impactful in previous rounds. This time, it's not going to be the case.
Yep, and now it is a 4v5 situation as the attackers are slowly just taking sight, or not necessarily sight, as Zax is actually going to get a kill on Rikers. Rikers was playing the Nomad. Ventix going to get a kill on Skybiz, as Bad Bunny gets another kill on Zax. Now making it a 2v4 situation. I was about to say that Lumberjacks, I felt like actually had control of the situation and that they were doing good, but now, like I said, you're going to see a run out from Turtle,
and that was huge.
The kill on
that was huge because he was cooking an aid, so Sinner probably was dead if that run out didn't happen.
And I agree, but now, unfortunately, as huge as it was, Sinner is now on objective by himself, and Turtle is going to be punished by Bad Bunny, making it a 1v3 situation. Bad Bunny going to get another kill, ending the round, and giving Impact that round win.
And that's something that we should actually underline a bit more, in the sense that we didn't exactly mention the state of the game as a whole, but it was a 3-0 situation for the defense, for Lumberjacks in that situation. And now that Impact won their first round, well, then that's a momentum breaker that's just happened, and I guess that could have repercussions later on. At the same time, 3-1 for a defense side of the map, I guess this is in line with what we would expect which is not in lines with what we saw in the previous maps of this best of 3. So really just a crazy and eventful night is just the most watered down way or most generic way I could present that. So for the second to last round before the rule swap, we are going back into reading and dining room. It seems like we're getting more of the same, right? The composition is just what we had before. And once again, it's like the kind of odd composition that does not exactly reflect what we would expect to see on such a defense. But then again, that is just how Bûcherons play. And the thing I do want to underline is that you have no operators to protect the reinforced wall. You know, Bandit, Cade, or even Mute. But you have both Wamai and Jaeger. So that means that grenades are unlikely to be too big of an issue this time around.
Yep, and I'm interested to see how the Lumberjacks just exactly defend this site. It looks like they're going to try and defend it from the second floor as much as possible and delay impact from just waste time. That's exactly what they're going to hopefully try and do. As I say that, Wamai is rotating back to site, but you still have the Jaeger on the second floor, I believe. Yep, the second floor, and he's going to try and waste as much time as possible as he is surrounded by Jaeger devices and also Wamai devices. And so he's going to try and delay. Delay is his name of the game right now.
I do like what Omarkai is doing right there, because first and foremost, he gets a cheeky angle into wide, so Zax is taking some amount of damage, but at the same time, he has a good angle to bounce the grenades off of the window to the right side, and that type of grenade could be dangerous for Zax, but Zax is just going to return the favor. He did what Omarkai should have done before, but he's not at the ends of his challenges, as right here, the first one was enemy, the second one is a Matsu drone, but still, he knows that the attackers are in piano, he knows that they're going to be trying to funnel in, like that's that's now Ash, and she's ready. There's somebody crouched behind the bar. That's Skybiz, and they're reacting in kind, but Ash is going to get the kill. Zax now last player alive. I would say he's likely to drop down hatch at this point, because you'd rather be alive than just die for a piece of like buffer room, basically. So 4v4 situation. 1 minute 25 remaining on the clock. I would say the attackers are making decent progress, but it was decent progress on, once again, buffer rooms. The attackers didn't fight tooth and nail, because losing the top floor does not equate necessarily to losing the objective. So let's see now that the defense is going to become a bit stiffer, right? How well Impact will be performing in those new situations.
And just as you said, you'd much rather be alive than to give up your position, because your life matters a lot more than your position. You can rotate back towards site and you can live to fight another day. And still the 4v4 situation, as the attackers are just trying to gain as much control on the second floor as possible, and it seems that they're slowly pinning down center in the objective, and there's just willing down his health as Fintix finally gets the kill on center, and that's going to get rid of your Maestro, making it a 3v4 situation.
Turtle is full of potential at this point. There's somebody to the left. He saw the head. He saw the silhouettes. And Ash isn't looking at him. That's going to be potatoing a little bit, but he gets the frag. Fentix being down. It's effectively a 1v3 situation, and he's not going to pull this off. There you have it. Lumberjacks winning another round. At this point, they have 4 rounds to their names. As the defenders, once again, this is odd compared to the previous maps, but this is in line with what we would expect from, a typical game. So yeah, Impact may or may not win the next round. If they do, 4-2, that would be extremely typical. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that is, well, standing out once again compared to the standards that have been set for tonight.
Yeah, and this looks like I don't want to say a repeat, but a mirror of what happened on Oregon. Lumberjacks were down 1-4 situation at this point in time, and so
Correct.
it's very interested. I'm very interested to see how Impact is going to bring this back, as they're going to 6-pick off the Nomad onto the Gridlock, which I feel like is a good choice. As a Gridlock main myself, she's still going to be there for the the flank watch, but with her abilities is now going to, you know, you don't have to worry about the air jab, and you can just simply shoot the air jab. But with her tracks, there's a lot more of them, and they're a lot harder to, or they're not harder to get rid of, but there are a lot more of them.
Yeah, it's harder to sneak past the attackers, like what happened 2 rounds ago, right? And I think that one roam from Zaxxon Castle was a few other key gunfights have been won by the defense, but I mean that key rotation really had a lot of impact on the round. I would like to underline though that it seems to me like the composition is setting up to have a very similar but not exactly identical setup to before, right? No deployable shield, extended hold is going to be set up in Bakery. Well, maybe he's going to be here behind the Bakery counter with one ADS device, but that's the extent of it. The reason for that being that now that the Lumberjacks defended once, they know how Impact roll. That is a top-down push, and there you have it. Thermite, hard breach already lost by extremely aggressive defenders. And it looks like Turtle is out asking for more. He's in an incredibly disadvantaged position, you know, being beneath the Scarlet. Oh, is that even going to connect?
Oh.
It did connect, didn't exactly get the kill, but wow, he's aggressive, he's not relenting. And I guess if you are keeping the attackers on their heels, that, you know, Mansell state is going to put them in a disadvantaged situation where they shouldn't be. But it only lasts for so long. It's already down to a 3v3 situation. So, you know, 4 kills happening in a blink of an eye. And I would say with a few setbacks, mainly losing your hard breach, well, the Lumberjacks, or Impact, sorry, will be off to doing the same thing as they did before, and that is playing the verticality first and then trying to execute some type of push, which is going to have to come through the Bakery area, because now you can exactly open up into Freezer, so that really is going to throw a wrench into their plans.
Yeah, and with the sledge, he's going to try to do the vertical, and as I say, there goes your sledge right there. The vertical is almost done, but Chroma is going to win that gunfight, which I feel like he shouldn't of making it a 2v2 situation, but still in the side of the defenders. As there's a minute left in the defenders, you still have your plant denial of the Maestro and the Jaeger. The Jaeger is just going to be, I don't believe he's been brought off of that Bakery situation yet. And I'm not even sure if they know that he's there. He's not in Bakery. He's in Small Bakery.
No, they
and
didn't.
There goes Skybiz dying, making it a 2v1 situation. Chroma's going to have the time of his life trying to make this as much as possible, but we'll see if he would be able to. Skybiz is going to get the call out from center, knowing that Chroma is still there. Chroma not necessarily knowing where Skybiz is, and there's a big health problematic there. Chroma's going to try and run in, get the plan off. Skybiz going to shut him down, give him the win to Lumberjack. And now it is a 5-1 scoreline.
And we saw that exact scoreline on the previous map, which was Oregon. It was with the other team, granted, but that is pretty close to a, once again, point of no return. I am bringing up this concept every single map, but I mean, once again, do you reasonably expect the Orange team to be capable of pulling off 5 rounds in the same amount of time that the Blue team needs to pull off 2 rounds? I don't think this likely, especially given the current track record that we're seeing.
I don't think, unless something goes horribly, horribly wrong for Lumberjacks, I don't necessarily see them dropping the ball here. Maybe they heard me say earlier where I thought Impact was going to take this whole, the whole round, or the whole map, I'm sorry. And what seemed for the first couple of rounds, it was going to be a really good match, is now going towards the side of Lumberjacks. So to answer your question, I highly, highly doubt Impact can bring back these 5 quick rounds to Lumberjacks too.
So I mean, for their sakes, I do hope that Impact are gonna keep on trying tooth and nail, because I mean, this is something that we had said at the beginning, at the very first round, right? So the very first round had a few back and forth in its history, and so we said, hey, round number 1, more of that, because both teams were performing admirably well. And it feels like, you know, Lumberjacks did keep up the pace, but Impact, are they like out of breath, so to speak? I couldn't tell you exactly for sure, but one thing is certain. Now they have the quote-unquote easier side, so you can just hope for their sakes that this is going to be like, it's not just you can hope, this is going to be their one and saving grace. If they're not capable of seizing the opportunity though, that is going to be on them basically. But yeah, now that they're defending, it's their last hope to win the round, or to win the map, sorry.
It is, and maybe Impact are holding back for some reason on this map, but I highly doubt that's the case in this situation. As Impact they're going to try and do exactly what Lumberjacks did when they defended the site, and that was just try and waste as much time as possible on that second floor.
But you know what? Let me actually be a bit more optimistic than what I was last time I spoke. If Lumberjacks managed to win 5 rounds, like total, out of their defense, maybe Impact could do the same. Zax is gonna take some amount of damage here. Oh, he did open up the hatch, like from underneath. That's rare, but I mean, hey, teammates, team play first and foremost. There is somebody in the white stairs. That's going to be Chroma. Oh, he doesn't exactly have the best gun to challenge somebody at that range. Better to have, say, a Jaeger, but hey, he's there. He's going to have to make do. Especially Fentix is going to be the other, like, ace in the hole. He gets a kill, so there you have it. But the gig is now up. His position will be known. Is he covering somebody to his right? Yeah, there's still Jaeger there. Bad Bunny could be a bit of a problem. He's flashed right now, so that's going to be putting him in a bit of a timeout. But as soon as he comes back in, there is going to be the challenge that puts Hibana. That's Nomad. Wow. Attempt number 3. Third time's the charm. And that is now putting Impact in a really good situation. Tipod still has Diffuser, and he's still hard breach. So that's the one capability that has not yet been taken off the board. But that's not exactly a bomb site where you would need to hard breach a wall or a hatch. So I guess Skybiz really is going to be more impactful for what's left of the round as far as his capabilities and possibilities are concerned.
Yeah, and I believe my Wi-Fi is messing up, but also maybe not at this time. And I missed most of that round, unfortunately. But now I'm back, and I see that it is a 2v3 situation. Now a 2v2 situation as they finally get the kills, and it is Chroma and Rexic with now making it a 2v1 situation. And there goes Lumberjacks winning round 7. Sorry about being away for most of that.
Hey, that was a nice comeback though. It was a 2v4 and they brought it back. Congratulations. Wow, I don't know about you, but I feel like we're lacking energy. Like, I mean, this was a 2v4 clutch, and from the energy we pumped into that, it didn't feel like a 4v2 clutch, because I was saying, oh, well, this is maybe like the defenders, or should I say Impact now starting to win their rounds, you know, now or never, and they're doing so we hurry for them. And yet that one round got just yanked away from them. And that's going to be gut-wrenching, because they now know that they've lost the map, right? There's no way they're going to win 5 rounds in a row. So they're going to try as much as they can, but I feel it's already over.
Oh, yeah, and I cannot imagine what the comms are, what they're saying to each other right now. They're probably saying, hey, you never know what can happen, but let's just try and end this as quickly as possible. They're not gonna. They are gonna try. They are a very competitive team, but I can just see them being hopefully not too demoralized. They've played amazing tonight, especially on Oregon. It's the first map was great. Second map, they demolished Lumberjacks, and now it's just dropping the ball. Lumberjacks is doing great. Both teams tonight have done amazing.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely. Both teams had their moments under the sun. I mean, there's no way to deny that. Both teams won their respective maps with a great margin. It looks like Lumberjacks on their way to, you know, get that achievement for themselves a second time, which would, you know, bring them across the finish line. Oh, and they're pre-knifing that castle barricade. No?
No, they destroyed it instead for some reason. I'm not exactly sure.
If you want to give the barricade back to Onoka, just, you know, use just wrench it down at once, right? with the crowbar. So I'm just as baffled as you are, but at the end of the day, this is going to be an extended hold with, you know, onto Cocktail and Bad Bunny right here being with Ormoka. That was Chroma right in the wide stairs. If need be, he can just turn around. Maybe also try to go for a run out if somebody wants to be repelling on the one window, but that's not exactly the angle that Lumberjacks are going for. I see Sinner running down, but of course he's never just going to rush down into OBJ from that angle. The point really is to just put an air jab there. That grenade though could actually be dangerous. I know it's Jaeger we're talking about, so it was unlikely to blow, but if it did, that could have been, you know, a free kill basically. It looks like he's going to be trying it again, maybe not. Also do want to note Fentix is, oh, he's beneath. Wasn't there another silhouette? Oh, that was another attacker silhouette. Okay, I have not said anything because I'm humiliating myself. Though Impact getting 2 kills in rapid succession, that's the kind of early round that we had previously. And as long as they don't, you know, fall victims to another clutch, they would be on their merry way to at least get another point under their belts, you know, to save face more than anything else at this point. I might just be pessimistic as Chroma gets another one. 2v5 now, that really is, as far as the one round is concerned, pretty much a lost cause. He gets put down. Oh, going for a second, but Jaeger no gets the refrag. Is he going to chain them up? He is going to chain them up. Good job, Bad Bunny. Once again, they are in a tough spot, but they still manage to cling on to hope, to not give up, and to pull off this kind of situations. Congratulations.
Yep, and I really hope that Impact was not giving up, and it shows that they're not giving up. They're going to fight this till the end, till the fat lady sings, and it's 6-2, still match point for Lumberjacks, and it's slowly, maybe we're in for a slowly but surely win here, but you never know what could happen in the game of Siege. Maybe Lumberjacks got a little bit too cocky, and they saw that, hey, it's match point. Impact is still down 4 rounds, and that's a very interesting pick as we see Zax go off the Ash onto the Maru. And again, I'm going to reiterate what I just said. Maybe Lumberjacks is getting a little bit too cocky. So where they're like, you know what? We're going to send in Zax, and he's going to try and get as many kills as possible. And if he gets none, that's fine.
Where's this run? I want to see. Okay, so he spawned there. I'm sorry, totally cut you off, but that was time sensitive. So I'm unapologetic actually.
Oh, you're fine.
So I would suppose he's likely to come through like that piano window. Because I personally, when I play Amaru, I would spawn by the docks and use that window. That window there. So on the balcony. Because you turn left and you're already shooting into, like, gunning anchors on bomb set, right? You're, of course, guaranteed to die, but if you can pick off, say, Maestro on cams, and somebody else that's, like, basically, I don't know, say Legion, still tossing up blue mines, that would be huge. And he's gonna do that! Okay, so he did change the spawn site. Oh, okay, this one's for you, I'm giving it to you.
And he's going to do exactly what you said he was going to do. He's going to pick up his drone, and he's not doing it in quick succession. Maybe he just wants to make sure that he's going to be successful in what he wants to do. And he's going to throw both of his drones up there just in case one gets destroyed. And he's going to drone out his situation and see, hey, can I go through this window? And that
he's not doing it.
Broken barricade is going to give him a little bit of confusion there. And I wonder, this is very interesting to watch. I wonder if
he's a free kill. He's a free kill if Zax comes in.
If Zax can do it as quickly as he needs to do it, and that Maestro doesn't hear him coming in.
I mean, so far, okay. So you would agree that Amaru is a rush operator, by extension, entry frag operator. But then, at this point, I mean, he's playing almost like, I don't know, a Thermite that does not want to die, so he's going to be sitting on drones for the first moves of the round. And that's not exactly where his kit is supposed to be excelling at. Rana's going to be getting 1 kill. He better get off the cams. And, I mean, the point of the 6 pick was to keep his presence a secret. They're not going to know that there's an Amaru. And so impacts are likely to react accordingly. But I feel like we're, like, tunnel visioning. Oh, he's using it. He's using it.
Oh.
Second guessing himself. Oh no, Riser is really expecting that though.
Yep, and Riser's no longer on the camera, so as soon as that Amaru tries to come through that window, he's going to hear him, and it's just going to be a swing state. And Zax is very, very much second questioning himself, and I imagine he's trying to get as many call outs from his teammates as possible, as saying, now you can go. And now it's a 2v3 situation. Zax needs to do something. He's been on drone for pretty much 2 minutes, just not doing anything with his Amaru play that we are so excited to see. And now Tipod, I keep on messing up his name. He's all by himself now.
It's so unfortunate because we got so hyped off the Amaru play, and he's going to do it actually, but of course Maestro's going to be there. He was on camps, and no longer on camps, pre-fires. If he was not known, now he's been spotted out, and there you have it. It is all of that for nothing, a big nothing burger. So I just want to like take a step back. I mean, Tipod's going to get 1 or 2 kills, and he dies there. Thing is, I feel like Lumberjacks want to put a Swift into this, right? I mean, saying, oh, I'm just going to repel in with Amaru directly into the OBJ window. There's not much more rush aggressivity that they can have from this. I mean, he didn't do it, so he ended up droning and wanted to think about that, and he realized that it was a bad idea, so he thought better of it. But at the end of the day, this is a symptom of the attackers wanting to put a Swift end to the match, and them wanting to put a Swift end to the match, them trying to cut corners just to be done with it, cost them the 1 round. So if they get too cocky, so to say, and if they don't like check on their bias for too long, it could end up costing them a few rounds. And if they're extra careless, we could maybe see an overtime situation pop up, because I mean 2 rounds, I mean at this point I would already say that Impact have defied the odds, but they're not out of the woods yet, and not by a long shot either. So really it's kind of a standstill, so to say.
Yep, and I agree. It's just, again, what I said earlier, and I believe you touched on as well, that Lumberjacks are just getting a little bit too cocky. They wanted to try that Amaru, but they wasted 2 minutes of doing absolutely nothing with her. And so now Impact has this advantage. It's still a 6-3 scoreline. And so I want to use the term advantage loosely, but Impact's slowly coming back. And so if Lumberjacks is not careful, Impact can make this into an overtime situation.
At the same time, 3 rounds don't happen in the blink of an eye. So Lumberjacks really still have some time to just, once again, think better. But I mean, it really is a double-edged sword, because momentum really is a thing. Lumberjacks use it to its fullest potential in the early stages of the game. But now, say it takes them 2 more rounds to realize, okay, holy shit, we might actually lose this. Let's just focus. At this point, it's too late. Impact would have the momentum, and, you know, Impact with full momentum could win the 1 or 2 rounds that would just be needed to bring this into overtime. Once again, maybe I'm just being a bit too optimistic, because it's still a long ways out. And here, I mean, they seem to be fairly methodical, right?
I'm sorry, I was taking a drink of water when you finished your sentence, but
That's on me.
no, you're perfectly fine. So I would imagine that right now Lumberjacks are like, oh, okay, we've gotten too cocky. We let them have 2 rounds, and there was nothing there as Turtle got to kill on Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny should have easily got that kill. So I'm not sure if he didn't recognize that Turtle was there, but as Zax gets the kill on Orma, and it is now a 5v3 situation, make that a 4v3 situation. And
I would say it's already too late. This is not going to be looking too great. I'm sorry to cut you off there. As I say this, however, Bandit and Fentix are just on a roll. Positioning is everything, right? The attackers, Lumberjacks have top floor control. Sledge is still alive. Tsepar is still alive, so he can then make the execute into freezer with the hard breach phase. Rixer's right there. He's going to be an absolute pest, and Fentix also was uncharacteristically aggressive, right? Because, I mean, Echo. I don't have to delve any deeper into that. Interestingly enough, if you look at the defenders, nobody is on objective directly. Chroma is creeping back into there, but the thing is, they're not going to be falling victim to Sinner's top floor control. That's like the whole point of it. So that renders all of that preparation useless, as it does not actually fall through the floor. Skybiz also falling down. Tipod now has to get the refrag, but Bandit with the MP7. It's a P shooter, but a really, really swift P shooter, and thus he would be in his ideal situation. Teapot has a free OBJ, doesn't realize it just yet, is thus very likely to plant. And if he plants with center having top floor control, that means he can cover a plant just with a perfect situation, right? The Echo drones are going to be the last saving grace for Impact, because once again, a retake with Sledge above is going to be next to impossible. But Teapot is not planting somehow.
And he's going to pull off the fake plan as to try and bait the defenders into coming to the site. And Fentex is going to waste one of those echo charges trying to figure out exactly where he is. And then Center's going to drop the hatch, get in a 2v1 situation with 5 seconds left. The attackers need to plant. And 1 second, he's going to get possibly the plant down. No, I am wrong. As Impact wins that round, slowly but surely coming back.
Yep, that comeback, it's happening.
It's happening, but oh my gosh, this should have been over 2 rounds ago. And Lumberjacks is just dropping the ball. They need to end this before it ends up being an overtime situation. I still don't think it's going to be, but you never know what can happen.
You know what? I do agree with you. I mean, Lumberjacks are bound to win a round eventually, because I mean, Impact are gonna slip up eventually. I mean, it's human nature, right? Humans by very definition aren't perfect, and so one mistake is all it takes at this point for Lumberjacks to take this home. But if I was to look at it with a bit more of a positive outlook, at this point, Impact have won 3 rounds in a row. As the defenders, that means they won on a primary, secondary, and tertiary bomb site. Ergo, if they did it once, they could theoretically go through another cycle a second time, and it just so happens that they just need 3 more rounds to, or I should say 2 more rounds to bring this into overtime. So all of that is positive, but yeah, once again, that does not mean that this situation is actually going to unfold. I do realize that I am way too optimistic and giving them way too much benefit of the doubt as compared to the actual reality of the situation. But with that being said, they have yet to slip up, so I don't know. I really am undermining my own argument there, but who am I to tell? With that being said, Jaeger, Smoke, Castle, the 4th silhouette is actually mute, so a pretty typical setup on the top floor. The only thing that I would say is notably missing is Mira, but that's only because she's been banned outright at the beginning of the game. So yeah, it's as much as can be, and that defense is typical. In a sense, it is good for the attackers because they know what to expect. You know, it's full of surprises, custom-made strategy that is going to catch them off guard eventually. So I would say Lumberjacks have the upper hand, but it is still going to come down to their execute. Knowing what to do does not equate to them actually succeeding in pulling that one thing off. And it looks like they're once again trying to destroy the barricade, but Chroma only did 11 tap it. I always forget exactly how many knife rounds you need to put into that castle barricade to strike. But I mean, he's going to be able to run out and kill somebody on the windows if need be.
I believe it is 12 hits for Castle Barricade, but again, yeah. I could also be wrong as well. And just to really reiterate what you said, this is pretty much the exact same setup that Impact has done in the past, but it's been successful almost every single time. So Lumberjacks do have the upper hand, but they also don't have the upper hand as Zax tries to almost get a kill on Bad Bunny. Lumberjacks has yet to beat this defense. As I say, that Skybig immediately trade, making a 3v4 situation with Lumberjacks. They are, I don't want to say they're dropping the ball, but 3v3 situation, your castle and your mute's gone, so it's still up in the air what could happen at this point.
Smoke trying to help and shutting down flank routes, so that's good. Bad Bunny here once again. I mean, he's a big fragger, right? If he falls, I'm gonna say the round is lost, and by extension the game. So he cannot allow to fall. Falling back right in time, as Turtle is gonna be using some utility breaching round to destroy a bit of his hiding spots. he is probing that other angle. Thing is, attackers are no longer there. Center's beneath. Turtle is beneath as well, and Zach's, well, he's just out of the picture all around. So the defenders have top floor control, and that is really good because, once again, you're hardly going to get the diffuser planted if somebody is shooting down on you from above. It looks like Lumberjacks are changing paces, though. They're trying to go for dining. Dining, of course, notably does not have a soft roof or soft ceiling, sorry. And therefore, Bad Bunny's positioning just got short-circuited, basically. So that was Smoke's last canister, and it's going to come down to Turtle's gunplay, basically.
And it doesn't seem like he knows that there's somebody on white, but not necessarily where they are. Chrome is going to get a double kill. Turbo going to get a double kill, making it a 1v2 situation as Bad Bunny gets the kill. 1v2 situation. Defenders win. Round 11, Impact. They are just coming back as Fintechs.
Wait,
hold on.
are we truly seeing a 6-1 comeback to 6-5? Are we gonna see a 6-1 overtime comeback?
They are making us eat our words. As 4 rounds ago, we said, is it possible? We said no, but Impact must be in our rooms somehow saying, we're going to prove these guys wrong. We are going to bring it back. It is now 6-5.
6-5.
What
yes.
is happening?
And I mean, just deciding to prove us wrong is one thing. Actually being able to best Lumberjacks round after round after round to actually make this happen is the arguably harder part of that equation. And they're succeeding. Congratulations, guys. And, you know, usually I would say you're not out of the woods just yet. You're almost there. I gotta remain neutral, so hey, Lumberjacks, if you don't want to go into overtime, now is your last chance. And here's something I really do like with Oryx. Of course, he does take damage when he runs through a wall, but that just happens to not be a wall, and therefore he can destroy a lot of like default plant spots. I did that once in ranked, and like I was Oryx last player alive. Thing is, I was outside of the objective, so the attacker just went and planted here. Some other teams will be using like the entirety of the preparation phase for Oryx. He already has 2 Grandma Dashes ready, and so he could destroy the entirety of the long desk or of the long bar, if I can put it that way. I don't know. I know nobody calls it that, but you know what I'm talking about. And so this is why I'm a bit disappointed by Ormak, because once again they could plant on the other side of the bar.
Yeah, and it seems that he's going to try and get a little aggressive here. Oh my gosh.
That was Turtle! Top fragger gone! No, not top fragger, okay, but still a heavy fragger for their team. And he's not pushing his luck. I totally stole the mic from you, sorry. He's not pushing his luck because now Tipot and the other guys, they're so cautious about his presence. But, I mean, of course, he's not going to bite.
And that early, making it a 4v5 situation is just going to help Impact even more in this comeback. Sure, they lost to Ash, but, you know, like I said, it's a 4v5. They don't necessarily know that he ran away at that point. They don't know where he is right now. And so now they're going to be watching every single corner.
Zach's right here by the window. He can get a really interesting cross angle, I mean, especially on Ormaka, right? So if he tries to be a bit too aggressive and do exactly what he did, then Zofia would cut him down. So the thing is, he's going to be basically put still. He can't move too much now, except maybe just to flee, but that's not going to be helping them out too much. So the idea being, him being exactly static, him standing still would make him a very easy kill, as Tipot is going to fall to one of those pre-placed nitro cells. 3v5 situation is just desperate enough as is. Add on to that the fact that that was your hard breach gone, and now Bad Bunny with yet another kill. The grenade is likely to be the end of Ormak though. No, it's just going to deal some amount of damage. The shield is gone, however. Still, another nade's going to be attempted. It's not going to do too much. The Evil Eye also does see Skybiz right there. That's Skybiz right there. Zach trying, getting 2 kills in rapid succession. Actually, nicely done. But there's, you know, another 3 defenders to go. And he could legit chain them up if he gets one on wide and one into bathroom. That would be huge. But it has to happen.
And
oh, no. Oh, there you go. There you go. He found it.
There
okay.
you go. He finally found it after a couple of seconds of not knowing where it is. It's 2v3 situation with Lumberjacks just trying and take site as much as possible. Now 2v2 after a very hard push from Zach. Zach's going to go down, making a 1v2 situation. Now a 1v1 situation as Skybix takes down Fintix. Skybiz or Ryxix now knows about where he is, and he's going to try and do the rotate. And Skybiz not necessarily understanding where the Maestro is at this point, but he knows about where he is.
15
Oh,
seconds.
there you have it! There you
Oh
have
my
it!
gosh.
Oh, it came down to the wire! But no, a 1v1 situation. If I was Maestro, I don't know. I'd have tried to flee because the Evil Eyes were still there. He was out of nades. Because, I mean, you know it, right? Peeker's advantage. And at some point, Maestro has peeked out every single angle. And by elimination, he could have known exactly where his opponent... No, not Maestro. Zofia Zax. Sledge, sorry. Sledge can peek out every single angle and can know exactly by elimination where Maestro is. Maestro has to stand still because he doesn't want to make any kind of noise. But therefore, he's not peeking. And therefore, except for like faint audio cues, he doesn't know exactly where his opponent's is. Plus, I mean, he's Maestro Plantinaya. He should have left the site. And that's the kind of stuff that I've learned for being a hard support player myself for quite a long time. So, all that being said, congratulations to Lumberjacks. You guys did amazing. Almost got come back though. But hey, if it didn't happen, I guess that's all that matters. And I can see in chats, Pojo would be the team captain. And he said, if they lose, like, I quit. I would just, he would be done. Luckily for you, that didn't happen. You know what? Let's try to get an interview going with the captain or the IGL acting captain, as Pojo was not playing today. Oh, shoot, I'm caps locked.
That was a very nice game. I didn't really expect that last little bit to happen there, but it did. And Impact almost brought it back.
Yeah, it was so close. It's actually surprising that it lasted this long, right? Let's see if they're responding. So Sinner. So Sinner would be the guy that we would be getting into voice chats if he was to want to jump in. But it will have to be seen. One thing is for sure. I mean, if you want to dissect that round, I really feel like Cafe is the map. So Haida is gonna do it. Okay. So Haida, let me just see who that is. Okay, so I'm moving him in our channel.
Okay.
And Haida, hello. How are you doing?
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, this is gonna be in English. I hope this does not bother you too much.
No, I'm okay with it. It's okay.
Perfect. So, hey, congratulations for your victory, first and foremost. I mean, that was deserved, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So if we look at the entire match history, the first map that you won on Villa was pretty interesting, right? I remember distinctly round number 8 when you became so aggressive, right? With like the round that was won through spawn killing alone. But
Yeah,
you want to talk about that actually? I was gonna go deeper, but
actually,
let's start
like,
here.
yeah, we were just like having confidence this round, like because we were winning, like I don't know, 5-2, 4, 5-3, something like that.
Yep.
So yeah, I said I'm gonna try a spawn kill, risky spawn kill, maybe on a hard breach. Then
Okay.
Tightpot did one too, so it was a 5v3. We were pretty lucky. But
Okay,
yeah,
so it wasn't actually
worked.
pre-planned. You just said, "Hey, screw it, I'm going for a spawn peak," and everybody just followed you into that.
Yeah.
Okay, because that seemed actually planned. Because I don't know if that gave you a lot of confidence. It's somewhat unfortunate that the rehost came right after that. I mean, they're
Yeah.
entitled to a rehost, right? But that must have cut off your momentum that you had there.
Yeah, kind of.
Unfortunate, but it happens. But then I felt you being maybe a bit too aggressive on the next map, which was Oregon, right? In the basement. I'm not exactly sure. Joel, maybe you could help me out with that. Who was playing like the smoke into blue bunker and peeking into the attackers onto barrels, which was just like a death sentence for him.
That was Sinners.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
Sinners.
Sinners.
Yes.
Yeah, we're playing like I think we were too confident to like we won 7-3 on fucking on Villa, and then on Oregon we're like too confident. We're playing like it was ranked low key, so just people were peeking. I was trying to say to my boys like slow it down, let's come back the game, but happened what happened. We lost. They deserved the one. They played good, so yeah.
Gotcha. And then the final map, Cafe. you were still feeling pretty aggressive, especially the one time where Amaru was picked.
Yeah.
So that worked out really well for the like early stages when you were attacking. No, sorry, when you were defending. When you were attacking, well, then Impact at the defensive side, right? So that makes things easier for them. And they almost come back. I mean, looking at the very
Yeah.
last round, right? You got spawn peaked, and that was
Yeah, we get
unfortunate, but you
smoking.
pulled it off. So you want to talk a bit about like the last map because was your confidence wavering? Were you still like confident that you were going to be able to make it, or seeing you go from 5-1 to 5-6, to 6-1 to 6-5, thing to maybe maybe it's not going to be that easy after all.
Yeah, like when we saw we were beginning to get comeback, we like because we didn't like really did a well like offense. So I tried to make some pushes like on the round where they went kitchen. We tried to make like a top floor, top to bottom, then go freezer, but didn't really work because people didn't like really listen to the push. And also we had a 5-3 lead, but we lost because Echo went for the red flank, and then I pushed in a VIP. Bandit was in
Yeah.
VIP, so it was misdroning too. But after all, last round should have went OT, but me and Zax tried to went for the clutch, so
And
we're
it
pretty
worked.
lucky on that one.
Yeah, congratulations. Jewel, is there anything you would like to add?
No, just that was really great siege. The last couple rounds, uh, in my opinion, Villa was my favorite map. But congratulations on the win, and I can't wait to see what y'all can do in the matches coming.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, and yeah, I guess we're not going to be taking any more of your time, Haydas. So, I mean, I suppose you got to be tired because I mean, 3 maps still does take a toll on you. So we'll let you go there. Congratulations, and we'll see you again next week for your next match.
All right, see you soon, boys.
All right, see you, man.
Good one.
With that being said, I mean, we too will more or less have to end it here. All around, I mean, we could just rehash what we talked about, but I don't think it's going to be actually worth it or needed. Let me just look through real quick the other match that was happening in real time in parallel to ours, which we would actually have casted if like the players were to no-show here or something. It was between Impact Esports and Surf. I see that Moss files are in, but I don't see the score just yet. Let me just refresh that. And no, actually, there's no score being entered. Only one Moss file is there. Interesting. I'll have to ask the players what's the situation on that front. So, hi, I would have given you the result of that game, but I guess it's not going to happen. With that being said, the next match that we're going to have is going to be tomorrow at 3 p.m. That's like 9 p.m. European time. The reason for that, it's going to be like the European Grand Final for the season. They're just slightly offset compared to ours, but they're not running quals, so they're going to be recovering that delay next week, basically. They're going to be starting like a week later than we are. All that to say that, hey, I'm sorry to Thirsty Bastards. I would have casted you, but in Grand Final. Other than that, Jewel, you have just given me 3 hours of your time, so the least I could do is give you the mic, and I did cut you off more than once, so I gotta make up for that as well. Hey, do you want to plug yourself? Do you want to talk about yourself or anything? Because I believe, outside of like low pressure qualifiers, this was your first proper cast, wasn't it? How was the experience?
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I really hope that the matches look like this going on. Going into the third map and an almost comeback from Impact was just phenomenal. And I'm really, really, really excited for more of what this league has. And just watching this one match, I cannot imagine what the other matches have in store for us. And super excited.
Gotta say, yeah, keep on going. Sorry.
I'm actually out of words right now. It's just that I'm excited. I can't wait for season 3. That was probably one of the best matches to have as your first match of the season against 2 very great teams.
It has to have been, because let me just put it this way. It being the very first match of the season, you could argue it's one of the least important ones, right? I mean, at the end of the main season, if you're just like 1 or 2 victories short of making it into the playoffs, like this is where you want to like just try extra hard to win your rounds and win your maps. Here, there was no pressure whatsoever on either sides. And yet the spectacle or the match was just that beautiful to see. Congratulations on the players, truly. I feel like every single season, the average skill level of the players goes up, and the numbers also go up. I mean, once again, this was just a random match with like no pressure or no hype or no glory to it, all things considered. And yet, last season, that match would have gotten like 15 to 30 views. We were hovering around like 50 the entire time, and now that the game's actually over, we're sitting at 62, which is surprising because, once again, like there's no more action happening. So, hey, the org is growing, the league is growing, the streams are growing. I could not be happier. Like I said during the qualifiers, Season 2 was our best so far, and as far as I can tell, every sign points to Season 3 surpassing Season 2. So, hey, I'm hyped. I hope you are. And with that being said, do you have any like socials to plug or any goodbye message to say? Because once again, it's the least I can do.
Thank you for that. I'm going to plug. It's exactly what you see on the screen. Dual Rogue 1. Except for you add the number 1 and also have a Twitch as Dual Rogue 1 as well. And as a goodbye message, just saying good night. I hope you all have a good night. And I cannot wait for more of these matches in the future.
Same here. But with that being said, you put it perfectly. Good night. See you next time. And until then, have a good one. And take it. Sorry about that. Easy. Bye-bye.